last time on Pulse Hunters Fridays? Does anyone remember?
Let's see. If I recall correctly, we entered into the town of Dali. The first stop we went into was the local inn where we found Harris. Him. It was about like a young boy. It's 17, seems to be working for quite a while, very sleep deprived. Was talking about his missing parents. We learned that the last summoner was here a couple of months ago, but they didn't stay in town long, not even for the night. With their last known sighting, they went to the apothecary, which some of us went to. And they met another. The apothecary was also run by a child named Eve. They have similar story, very kind of like sleep deprived. And talked about running the store while the adults are away out in the fields or whatever the mayor is having them do. Some sort of machines underground.
Yes.
I believe somebody talked with the kids about cloaked figures with snake iconography. We're going into the mayor's office, which is like the windmill building, every couple of days at night. Yeah, we kind of had like a team meeting to see like where we should go. And ultimately kind of landed on sending some people to go delay and figure out what's going on with the mayor. Some people to stand guard in the town, see if those like night mercenaries come or like the snakes. And another team to infiltrate and find out what's going on in the mayor's office and where those machines and things are.
Very cool. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Thank you for summing everything up in a very concise manner. Bam. Thank you. You can also, if you haven't already, mark yourself with with Heroic Inspiration because you were here first. Hold on one moment as I begin to get some images ready. But before we begin today's session, were there any other questions that y'all may have had regarding last session and needed to clarify? I guess, do you have any questions, Trix? I know you weren't able to be here, so.
No, I think I've pretty much got that.
Okay.
From the great recap.
Awesome.
You have the choice for Max. Max is currently on the guard team. But if you want, you could switch with Shay to be on Infiltrator.
Yeah, he can fill pretty much either role. So truly it depends on like if there's like a need for him to be guard, then he'll guard outside.
I think Carter was supposed to be on the inside, right?
Yes.
Carter is one of the ones on the inside, yeah.
So right now it would just be Tia and the third either.
Now, one
Brilliance
good thing...
and Feth are talking to the mayor. Captain and Taeyong are looking out. Minty and Cartier are the infiltrators. If that makes any difference for your pick.
I guess
if you look at the map right now, you can see the party is organized into the 3 groups.
I mean, the mid group is really more for like if emergencies happen, so we need everything to. We basically want to put everything in on the parties going in left and right. So I think it's best to replace Carter for now.
Yeah, he'll replace Carter. He can change out his armors to be an infiltrator form.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also just change out Jay.
If you want.
But, I mean, having Max in infiltration is nice, because if you use your alarm spell outside the door, you can at least know if anybody gets past and into after you.
And in this form, I have 45 AC or 45 walking speed, so I go fast.
I'd also just say, I like the idea of having at least 2 PCs so that Tricky isn't left to be an NPC
Mhm.
only on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll infiltrate.
Ooh.
All right, thank you.
But I would say switch out Carter and Jay. Just because I know Azalea wanted to do that thing. I think the captain, if given the choice, would rather have Jay be on the outside not doing anything.
Yeah.
All right.
You stay here where it's really important and guard that bundle of hay.
Jay just like, pouts,
It is
looks away,
imperative
ignoring.
in case
Right,
we need to steal
buddy.
some horses to get away. They must be well fed.
You guys are like in that menu in those video games where you're like assigning the little units.
Yeah.
All right. Well, time for you to confirm before the day begins because basically that was like the night before. And let me go ahead and move the calendar day by one. Oops, this is the wrong calendar.
Oh, I thought we were doing it during
At
like
night.
the nightfall.
Were you doing it nightfall?
Yeah, before like everybody comes back, before they even know we're here.
Perfect. Then it's still Monday then. Actually, no. It should be. Hold on. This is correct. Okay, yeah, perfect. It is.
Actually, would have wrote. It's fine.
Set current date. It's the 20th. All right. With that, as you guys are ready here, so you guys are doing it that nightfall. I am going to go ahead and find this chick right here. Okay. As you guys have waited till nightfall, I'm see if I can work this correctly. If I like click this, are those of you with dark vision able to see?
Yeah.
Wait, it has to fully transition.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
can see. Wait, nope, no,
Oh,
I
there we
can't.
go.
It's
Nope.
black.
yeah. There you go. Yeah. I can see.
I can see.
I have dark vision, but I can only see black.
You don't have dark vision anymore.
Okay.
Rips out eyes.
I have dark vision and it won't let me see. Why is that?
It's not set on your sheet for some reason. I just gave it to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's probably just not set on the token, right?
Yeah. All right. With that, as y'all are sort of going around here, how exactly are y'all splitting up? Like, what's the first step?
I guess the first step would be the group going to see the mayor, right?
All right.
Because we gotta
Yeah,
set them up
then-
as guards, and then they'll go in once we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The cat is not on the map, so let me go ahead and get the cat.
Does the cat have dark vision?
The cat does have dark vision. Don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure I said it there a long time ago. All right, so let me go ahead and compile y'all together. All right, so you begin to make your way to the mayor's estate. As y'all are kind of just huddled together like this, you will find that the mayor's home is connected to the windmill here. This is the windmill. I don't know if you guys can even see the map that I'm pointing at.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is the mayor's home.
Mhm.
So, how do y'all proceed?
I imagine that Tia, they would be in their Vera form. They'd probably look to Brilliance and Feth and be like, ready for this?
Absolutely. Is there anything in particular you'd like us to do or say?
For the most part, I think it'd probably just be for the best if we keep it to I'm a summoner in town. We're not looking for any special accommodations. We just planned on staying for an extended period of time and wanted your blessing with it, you know. And then get to know of maybe asking why children were running the town when we arrived. See if he talks anything.
You can also offer help towards the young child. His child was sick, no?
Could
Might
potentially
be a way in.
All right. Then we'll proceed with you three going ahead and knocking up.
Wait, weren't we told they were out in the fields working?
Some of the
Kids?
adults were.
Yeah.
Oh, so the mayor just ordered them to go to the fields. The mayor isn't out there.
Yes, the mayor
Okay.
is. Well, you guys never went to the mayor's office, so the mayor's home is here in this building, cute little building with the face.
Fair enough. Okay.
Do we even have? All right. Do we even have the anymore? Hold on. It's been so long.
I'll let you start the conversation. Looking to Brilliance.
Oh.
Hold on,
Seem modest at first. Just like putting up their hand like in a lackadaisical wave.
Hold on one moment. I do have it, period. Okay. As you approach the door to the mayor's office, Brilliance, you seem to take the lead as Tia sort of diverts it to you. How do you proceed?
Yeah, I just walk up and I knock on the door.
Okay, you go ahead and knock on the door. Let me go ahead and do a little bit of a roll. You would see as upon entry into this room, as you knock, it sounds like it's pretty empty inside for a moment, but you kind of hear some movement. I would say Feth and Tia, I believe, have really high passive perceptions. Yeah, both Feth and Tia, both of you can hear that there seems to be some movement, almost like a startle. Like you hear something probably fall on the floor. Before suddenly there's some rummaging, and then after some time, after some time, you would find that the door begins to slowly sort of like unlock all of its hinges. It seems like there's multiple locks on this door. Before looking sort of like very cautiously out, you would see is this very tall figure that seems to almost blend into the shadows that are currently here at Dali at nighttime. As it's growing darker and darker, you would see that before you is this 7 feet tall tabaxi gentleman. He is of black fur with sort of brown eyes. No, sorry, not brown eyes, blue eyes. I can speak. As looking at you all very suspiciously, you can see that on his face as well is inscribed almost like orangish markings all throughout, as there's like a tuft of fur that is kind of like a mohawk that goes from the center of his scalp down back to his neck. As he's also dressed in a very little clothing, but looks to be that of like some form of formal wear, as he looks to you all with this confusion. And we'll just say, you don't look familiar. Can I help you?
Oh,
And-
we're new in town. Brilliance. It's lovely to meet you. Really, we've heard a few things about this town coming in. Let me introduce my companions. This is Feth and Tia, our summoner.
You're a summoner.
Well, not me.
Tia gives a small nod. It's that very, like, trying to be reserved and graceful nod. That kind of like,
My goodness, my apologies. We've been very busy all day long. Please, come in, come in. I could get you all some tea. It's an absolute honor to have a summoner and their guardians visit us. We're just a small village. It kind of just very
Yeah.
graciously kind of like lets you in. I'm assuming are the rest of you kind of like trying to like stay back? Were you guys kind of hanging back? What are the rest of you doing as this interaction? Where were you guys doing?
I believe we are to sneak into somewhere else, so probably staying hidden or away. It just kind of looks like we're not a part of it.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. So let me go ahead and roll something for him. Yeah. Kind of very focused and very looks. I would say that let's see, brilliance. Go ahead and roll me insight check.
Hey.
+4 for you. Nice. Holy shit. 320. With that brilliance, it seems that he's very confused, very shocked, but with a dirty 20, you also get this sense that he seems a bit worried, as though there's a slight bit of like almost like panic. As he's like nervously trying to kind of like usher you guys in as quickly as possible, and the door kind of shuts behind you. And Captain Whitefang, Minty, and Max and Taeyong, you kind of see that happen, and it's like, okay, Team A is in the building.
All right. The eagle is preoccupied. Badger team, do your thing.
Che is like, Badger. Sir, which is the Badger team? You didn't discuss
The one that
codenames.
goes under the ground
Oh,
like a badger.
all right. Minty, Max, Detective Carter, are you all set?
Yes,
Okay.
it should be easy enough.
All right.
Can be.
Badger team, you go ahead. As you go to the door that leads into the largest windmill here in the town, you'll notice that it seems to be very it won't budge, so to speak. Max, you can go ahead and roll me an investigation check if you would like.
Okay, I would. Sorry. Helping Cameron look for his missing remote real quick.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I think Mother Bear would try and like angle themselves in places to like watch like entrances and exits.
This is night, right?
It's
we're going at night.
it's getting close to it's
Yeah.
basically nighttime now.
And the people in this village, or like the general makeup of their races, from what we've seen.
For their ancestries, you would see that as they slowly seem to come out from the fields, there a couple of them are kind of going over towards the apothecary over here, which y'all would know from what your intel becomes a bit of a pub at night. The farms are kind of in this direction, so like Captain Waifang, you would see many of the adults are kind of coming back. Many of them appear to be what's it called? Mostly human here, but there are a couple of halflings, but mostly human. You're very, very rarely you'll see a half elf sort of mixed in, maybe a half orc mixed in, but primarily humans and halflings. That's definitely the majority of the population, and they're all kind of like piling through. You'd see that they're kind of returning to their homes, or many of them are coming through this main thoroughfare to kind of go to here. Not really coming down here at all, as this is kind of like the main entryway. A lot of the homes are also down near where the farms are at, and this is kind of like the sort of like the entrance and like the center square of the town. I would say as you're sort of approaching Captain Whitefang, you'd see that there's some sort of adults are kind of chatting with one another. They look pretty exhausted. This one human gentleman is just kind of like, all right. It kind of just looks over and sees like, I would say that at this point they kind of catch you first. I'd say you're kind of trying to block like entrances. You're kind of
Yeah,
trying
like
to
line of sight.
obscure whatever the hell's going on here, essentially.
Mhm.
And as they're kind of going over, you'd see as one sort of a human gentleman is just kind of like, I'm sorry, sir. Are y'all lost? I didn't realize we had any visitors in town today.
You said there was a half orc amongst them?
Yes.
I want to go up to the half orc and put my hand on his shoulder. Like, there's my man. Ready for the party tonight? First round's on me.
Roll me a deception check.
Oh,
At advantage.
Are you just hoping that he also has memory issues? Like, what?
That's a 22.
Amazing. You see as this half-orc gentleman kind of looks up to you, and it's just kind of like, yeah. Aren't you that? Aren't you that? What's his name? Yeah. You're like, what's his name's guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I don't know what kind of getup you're wearing, but you can certainly come with us to Mord's dispensary. I heard like the drinks tonight are going to be off the charts once he gets out of the tunnel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know me. I'm always ready to party.
Che is just like, what's going on? Taeyeon, do you understand what's going on?
Is there a ball nearby?
A ball.
A bong.
No, a
Or you say
ball.
ball or bong?
A ball.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Sorry, Che, don't mean to go.
What is going on here?
They're
I take it
distracting.
back. I
This
wish
is
Max was
Team
on this
Mama
team.
Bear.
They're distracting.
Yeah, we're distracting.
The 12. My God, y'all are not supposed to be drawing attention to yourselves. I'd say Taeyong with a 12. You do actually see there seems to be a ball left over that one of the kiddos left hanging out. Probably didn't clean up on their own.
Okay, seeing that this is the path that the captain wants to take, and being one to follow up and adapt to orders, he's going to pick up the ball. It seems like we're trying to gather attention to ourselves, or like change the perception to somewhere else, or like perspective somewhere else. Is he gonna start to like take the ball, clean it up a little bit, and then like start practicing some tricks?
All right, go ahead and roll a performance check.
Hey, with my background, with my time, you think I'd be able to do this? Actually, no, I'll just roll.
It's not bad. It's just that you see as like, hey, look what I can do, and you kind of just do like a little bit of a kick to the ball. It like goes up in the air and bounces off your head, but that's kind of basically it. It actually pokes your horns and it deflates a little bit before it kind of rolls off. And you'd see as like one of the human gentlemen says, "Man, you visitors are weird. Did y'all just arrive here in Dali?"
No. Sorry. Just a pastime of mine. Did not mean to destroy the ball.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, we could probably patch it up. Are these two with you? Or are we all drinking together, or what's going on here?
Oh no, they're separate. Let's go, boys.
You're taking these guys with you, and
It kind of give a wink to like Taeyong and Shame. It kind of says like, "Hey, I got this. Take care of the rest."
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
I will use my psionic mind of feature to telepathically message Che and say, I don't think he has this. Please watch him.
All right. Well, Che and Taeyong stay outside, but Weifang, you successfully divert the three adults who were actually coming down to the pub to get into the pub. And let's just say as you kind of shove them in there. Meanwhile, Max, are you there? You there, Trix?
Sure am.
Period. As you look around, it appears there's some sort of like pressure mechanism to this door, but with your 26, however, you're actually able to kind of like knock around some places, and you feel as though if you were to use a bit of thieves' tools in one of the sections here, you might be able to disarm the lock on this windmill.
Alrighty, let's see if I can jimmy this lock real quick. And he will use his thieves' tools.
You have thieves' tools? That's shady as hell.
I do have thieves' tools proficiency. And I'll use
Shady?
my what is it?
Dan.
All-purpose tool.
Oh yeah, I forgot you could turn that into that.
Yep. I don't have them on me, but I do have some on me, so it doesn't matter.
Fucking lying to me, man.
I am proficient.
Ooh.
That should actually be a 10.
A 10. Minty, you would see as Max seems to kind of fiddle with the thieves' tools for the door, but it doesn't appear to budge at all. It seems to kind of, and you'll notice that the lock seems to almost tighten a little bit more, and that a second attempt might. It's not fully broken, but it looks as though it's going to be a bit more difficult to disarm now.
Do you want me to give it a shot, Max?
If you would like. Here, and he'll place a hand on your shoulder and cast guidance.
All right. Go ahead, Minty, and you can do so at advantage. So that's just a dexterity ability check, and you can add your proficiency bonus.
Okay, I'm gonna roll sleight of hand just because that
Same
adds
thing.
my.
Yeah, same thing. And then you can add a d4 at advantage.
Do I need to put the? It's plus D4,
Yeah,
one
plus
D4
Yeah, just plus 1d4.
at advantage.
Y'all. But luckily you
Jesus
guys have the
Christ.
guidance. Okay, so with the guidance, thankfully, y'all are able to pop it open. Eventually, it takes a little bit of time, and immediately you will see as the door opens up, and you'll see the interior of the windmill, which I will show here. As it opens up, and you would see around you, there's like the little like sort of dust sort of falling down. Above is the windmill mechanism, and the door sort of leading around. I think immediately visible to you, Minty, and Max, there appears to be a pathway that leads towards the mayor's office building. As you guys made it in. And before we get to that, we will then return to our mayor team. Amazing. Hold on one moment. Let me see if I have this image. In a hot second. Okay. Okay. All right. As you enter into the mayor's home, Brilliance, Beth, and Tia, you will see that despite how small it looks from the outside, the inside is actually quite large. It's built almost like into the ground in a circular formation. So there's like separate floors and like sort of a spiral pathway that leads down. It's a mess. You can tell at one point this is probably a very highly esteemed and established home, a bit of like a mayor's manor sort of situation. However, at this point, it looks to be a very sort of very disorganized, as though like entropy has. Sorry, what was that, Leo? Yes, you can give people your inspiration if you'd like. Yeah, good question. You'll see that it looks so disorganized. There's papers on the floor everywhere, but there is sort of like a nice little seated section next to a fireplace with some sofa chairs. You'll see that the mayor will just sort of gesture you through, like, please, by all means, take seats. I'll go ahead and get some tea ready for you. When did you arrive in Delhi?
Only just today, a few hours ago. Would you like me to help you with the tea?
Oh no, I can't possibly do that. I must
I
be
insist.
persuasion check. All the rolls.
Well,
Ooh,
I could guidance myself.
good. It's a reaction. Yeah,
Okay.
15. Perfect.
15.
As you're like, I insist. You kind of cast the spell sort of under your breath. Your eyes kind of like shimmer a little bit, and true to your current form's name, as you brilliantly sort of radiate this aura. He'll kind of just like his ears twitch a bit, and will just say, "You have quite a bit of glow on you. I can't seem to see it. Sure, it's just over there. The kettle. It's a simple piece of magitech. I'm sure you can figure it out.
Of course.
Kind of just and you can kind of scurry off and head towards the direction of the kitchen area there that he had sort of gestured to before he looks back to you, Feth and Tia, and says, Summoner, you said what was your name again?
Tiernak, it is nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I am Mayor Bao. I am the most recent mayor here of the village of Dali just over the past couple of years.
I see. And Tia will kind of put a couple of their fingers under their chin. They have that very, like, slow-moving, like, kind of, practiced way about themselves before they kind of go, I have to say, it was remarkably shocking coming into a town that only seemed to be populated by children.
Oh, yes, I can see how that is quite concerning. Things have been a bit difficult to manage with the town. It is winter, so we have more hands on deck to prepare for the spring harvest. We have much cargo to deliver to all the nations here in Caligo, as I'm sure you can understand.
Oh, of course, of course. Well, we were just going to be heading through here for perhaps a couple of days. We were just hoping that perhaps we could have your blessing for staying here. We don't want the big show and dance from the summoner stuff, as you can imagine.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry I can't exactly make your stay here much more hospitable. We are as you can tell, we're struggling a lot with working things out. I really wish we could give you what you deserve in terms of a celebration and whatnot.
Please. And they're just kind of giving like a lackadaisical wave before they kind of will focus in a little bit and go, even despite the short amount here, we can definitely tell you all must be very hard at work. The children were saying how much you were dedicating yourselves, time-wise at least.
Kind of just smiles, and will just sort of nod and will say, they always are encouraged to participate and try to help out where they can, but we do what we can. We barely see any visitors anyways. And we'll just sort of look towards Feth, kind of peculiarly, and we'll just kind of look at you in with a bit of a furrowed brows, and we'll just say, there's this air about you. I'm sorry. How do I know you from somewhere?
I am modest.
Did you say I am noticed?
I am modest.
Oh,
Because
modest.
Tia said to be modest.
Oh, okay.
Oh my fucking god. Alright.
Oh,
My B. Alright.
that's a very interesting name. Good to meet you, Modest. There's this familiarity. I think it's just this aura that you hold. If I can ask, where are you from? Both of you, and your friend as well.
He's gonna just kind of look around for a second and say, I am from Vermilion Forest.
That's where it seems familiar. I can there's this air I stayed there for quite some time.
I see.
Feth here is, of course, the individual helping us maneuver the landscape, so to speak. It's very dangerous these days for summoners, don't you know?
Really? Why do you think that?
Oh, just so many nasty rumors. Just waving a hand, very like nonchalantly, essentially tried to deceive and give the idea that they are not worried about it.
Sure. You would see as the mayor kind of just nods, looking at you, kind of not really sure about what to really make of you from what you could tell. But they do seem to kind of just smile and wait as Brilliance, you go over to make tea, but do you actually make tea, or what are you doing? Are you being shady?
I'm being a little shady, but not very shady.
Okay.
First thing in the kitchen, is there a window?
Yes, there is a window.
I open the window.
All right, easily enough. No one seems to notice when you open the window at all. It doesn't really
And
make noise.
then I just go about making tea. I would like to just kind of like keep an eye on like what is in the kitchen, what it leads to, and things like that. But no, they're actually like making tea and providing an escape if need be.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. That's just an intelligence check for you, I believe. It's just a plus
Yep.
3. All right, 11. I would say that as you're sort of looking around to see if there's anything sort of shady around here, you do see there are a ton of papers and sort of like scattered throughout. Even here in the kitchen, you see that at the table there appears to be all forms of like documents, some letters here and there. You're not really sure what to make of them, but it is definitely peculiar to say the least. But you are making the tea. It's a pretty simple sort of like kettle situation. You've used it before. It's like you just fill it up and it heats by itself, sort of an enchanted kettle. And yeah, eventually you do return with the tea, I'm assuming, or do you do something else?
I'm gonna just grab a handful of papers and shove them in my pack.
Sure, go ahead and roll me D100.
Yeah.
25. Interesting. Okay.
That is Kitty Cat Monthly.
Oh no, not my men's weekly.
While we're in here talking with this guy, can Feth keep an ear out and see? They said that they had a child, right? The mayor.
The mayor himself hasn't mentioned it yet,
Right,
but
the kids.
that's what the kids had told y'all, that the mayor had a son who was sick, and then everybody in the team was made aware of that.
Can Feth keep an ear out to hear if he hears a second person in this building?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me either a perception or a survival check, your choice.
They the same.
They're the same.
Perception's an advantage.
Okay, then go ahead and do that. 17, yes. With a 17, every so often, in the midst of the flowery conversations that Tia is having with this mayor and also the sound of the kettle, you're able to, because of your expertise in hearing with your elven ears, you are able to kind of isolate sounds, and you're focusing more down this like sort of spiral downwards pathway pits situation, and you do kind of hear through the walls there does appear to be the very, very faint sound of heavy breathing, like very, very heavy breathing with this like slight almost squeak of an exhale.
All right, we'll keep that in his back pocket.
All right. Brilliance, as you return with the papers in hand and totally tucking them away, I'd say that no check needed because you kind of are in a different room. You can do that without looking sussy. You'll see that the mayor will say, thank you, Brilliance. It is I'm sorry, I'm such a terrible host. I was never quite good at this part of things. I mean, I feel like I used to be, but things have just been very busy around here. Please,
It does seem that you're quite stressed. Is there anything we could do to help with it? As like handing out cups of tea and little saucers.
yes. You'd see as the tabaxi gentleman just sort of sighs and just like, it's a bit of just city business, just trying to organize the harvest, ensuring that we're able to meet our kind of just, you'll notice that a lot, like kind of like every so often he's looking around. He's definitely having a hard time sort of focusing, and it's almost as though he's thinking about, it's like he's talking to you, but his mind is somewhere else. And he says, I'm sorry, making sure that we're meeting our quota. Yes, it's just been very busy. Many of our workers have been injured, and many of the adults are constantly trying to work with this some of the new technology, and
Tia will cut in and be like, "Oh yes, I heard that there was some sort of sickness going on as well." As they take their cup of tea and they go, "The children were talking about somebody being sick."
If you point us in the direction, I'd be happy to help. I'm quite the accomplished cleric.
Oh, you are a holy person.
Indeed.
Okay. Well. The children, they mean well. It is my son Chapu. He's an adopted son of mine. I love him the same though, as a hero of my own. He has been growing. He's always been quite ill, but it seems as though his condition has worsened over the past couple of years. I have tried many visits with many holy individuals of high places. I don't mean to dishearten or discredit you, Brilliance, but I'm afraid there's very little that is helpful for him. As much as I appreciate the thoughtfulness, it's very much appreciated.
To not put it bluntly, and she kind of will lean back slightly and go, "Odin beckons for him?"
Hopefully not, but we've been keeping him stable.
The only reason why I bring it up is, you see, I am not exactly a normal type of summoner. I find commune with darker individuals, like Odin, my specific individual who overlooks my operations. If he has some sort of chronic issue, there could be potential for me to perhaps make commune and ask for advice with such an issue.
I can't possibly ask that. We'll kind of just look a bit flustered. And we'll just clear his throat and we'll say, I really appreciate it, summer to your neck, but will kind of just look a bit, almost like a bit dejected, and we'll just say, I'm doing what I can for my son. I would appreciate if we left it at that.
My dear
Sure.
Mayor, please let us help if we can.
As he sort of looks towards you, Brilliance, he seems to look very uncomfortable. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check at disadvantage, Brilliant.
Got it, dude.
You can take my inspiration.
Okay. Do you want me to completely re-roll or take the 7?
It'll be the 7. So that is 7 plus 9, which is 16.
I can also add a guidance if you want me to.
You can.
Get a 20. Get a dirty 20.
Hey, that is not a dirty 20, it's a 19. But it's still a 19. He kind of is a bit sort of speechless. We'll just sort of look and say, I promised it's a bit of a complicated situation. You see, my son is seeing a treatment, but those who were giving me advice on his treatment had recommended that he not see anyone while he is being treated. I believe it is for safety reasons. I apologize if I seem a bit nervous about it, but in my desperation, I have sought. I'm sorry. In my desperation, I have sought not exactly well-established medical experimental treatments with him, but they have been working. But I think it would be wise for me to follow their recommendation.
Now, can I specifically roll insight? Because we're bearing in mind, obviously, we're probably dealing with the controversial bullshit happening here with the snakes and everything. But can I get the vibe that this kid is being kept alive against his will? Either
Sure.
through maybe trying to get a sussed out insight, or even just the general atmosphere in here.
Sure, go ahead and roll insight check.
All right.
Zam.
Ooh.
With an 18, Tianark, you would know that it doesn't seem to be that's the case. Exactly. It does appear to be that this child appears to be sort of like receiving some form of treatment. I would say with the 18, it almost seems as though at this point, the mayor, the way he speaks, it's clear that he's being earnest and that he truly believes that this treatment is something that he should try and follow to the T, and he's afraid to deviate from it, from what you could tell, especially considering how he's been very avoidant about mentioning his son at all until you sort of brought it up, and how he's gotten more and more nervous about it. But he seems to really believe that this treatment is good for his son.
Okay, so no undertones of maliciousness with this man specifically.
No, not at all. He does seem. You do get like a good vibe from him, but maybe sort of like not exactly like the most bright individual, but you do feel this sort of earnest vibe from him.
Okay. In that case, then, Tia will press a little bit, because why the fuck not? And go. Controversial takes, however. Medicine, you say? I'm surprised. Did you have a doctor in town with a bright idea? I only thought there was the apothecary.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Essentially, Tia had said, was there a doctor in town with bright ideas? I only thought I saw the apothecary.
You'd see that the mayor kind of just nods and say, "Oh, we don't. We do have a doctor in town, but this is a little bit above their pay grade and what they've studied. A bit more of advanced, perhaps even like a generational curse or something. We've attempted to have many divine individuals look at them, but it's a bit. It's always been inexplicably complicated for them."
I see. And as that happens, Tia will set down the teacup very quietly and take a lean back and go, Well, you of course know the best for your son. That being said, I won't have to see him to do such a thing like this. If that would make you comfortable, but I will leave it as is if you think there is possibly nothing I can do.
Kind of just think about it for a moment. Eyes sort of like looking from you, then looking to Brilliance, then looking to Theth / Modest, and then looking back. And he looks very, almost like he's thinking very hard. And he just says, it's kind of just looks around a bit nervous as he looks back to you, Tia, and will say, do you really think there's this voice inside me that insists that I should let you see him, all of you? I don't know why, but I'm just worried, or reasonably afraid that if I don't abide by their suggestion, that it could mess things up.
We would never do anything to willingly hurt. We are good people.
And I can tell you are a very good person too, good Nair.
All right. With that, Brilliance, roll me one final persuasion check at advantage this time.
Lord. Yeah.
I'm only good at lying and scaring people.
Ooh, dice tower.
Okay. Much better than every roll that I've rolled so far. That is a 28.
Holy shit. Is that like a 19?
Yeah, it sure was.
Period. You'd see as he kind of just face kind of grows a bit more less swollen, a bit more relaxed as he takes a big sort of deep breath, and will then look towards you and will say, right this way, and we'll kind of stand up. And from here, we will switch back to our windmill crew.
Windmill.
All right.
Windmill.
Minty and Max, as you make your way through the windmill, what the hell are y'all doing as you guys are in here? I don't know if you still have the image up. I can pull it up again if you need.
Looking it over, Max is going to look through like the little like grain bags that seem to be off to the side, looking into any of like these barrels, if any of them are like already open, or just try to see what, besides like what looks like, you know, cornmeal or whatever is being made in this mill, trying to see if there's anything suspicious.
All right, you can go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Meanwhile, Minty, what are you up to?
Can I investigate the suspicious ass looking metal thing that looks like it's leading underground?
Damn, Max, your checks are not vibing.
It's fine. I have guidance for myself. 17.
Period. Okay, so what were you trying to look into, Minty?
You see that round metal thing that looks like it's covering like a hole to the ground?
Yes. You would like to sort of like look through it or look around it?
Look around it, see if it's like trapped or anything potentially.
Sure, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Nice. All right. As you are sort of investigating the surroundings here, I would say that very quickly what y'all could immediately propose is that this place looks pretty standard. Max, you're kind of looking through all the cornmeal, you're looking through all these bags. Everything looks fine. But I'll say with your 17, you'll see that in some of the bags, they seem to be a bit heavier than most. And you'll find that one bag in particular seems to be the most heavy. Sort of like hidden beneath this pile over here. And you're kind of like weighing them, but if you try and pull it up, Max, you'll notice that you can't even lift it off the ground. But it looks like a regular bag.
Blink, blink.
Meanwhile, Minthy, as you're looking around this hatch, you would see that this definitely appears to be some sort of metallic hatch blocking some sort of like entrance. There's like the hatch mechanism, and there also appears to be a lock here as well. But it doesn't appear to be trapped, at the very least, from what you could tell out here. But as you sort of kneel down to take a closer look, Minthy, you could see that the locking mechanism does appear to have a trap instilled in it. If it is not perfectly disarmed or disarmed with the key, so to speak, it will essentially spring some form of needles, from what you could tell, metallic needles. There's some holes nearby. It's essentially only avoidable if you were to disarm this hatch with a key instead of actually doing it through some sort of tool. That's what you'd be able to tell.
All right. Max, it seems like this hatch is the way down, but the bad news is that the lock it's trapped unless we get the key. It's going to be a bit painful to open that, to say the least.
I see. I found one of these bags, and he gestures the phone. I can't even lift it up. It's so heavy, but it looks like a bag of flour. And he will start like feeling around it, see if he can like feel like what it's like concealing, if it's just like a solid like block, or if there's like any indentations or anything. You're muted, Tricky.
For which exactly? Sorry?
For the really heavy bag, the one that you can't lift, like trying to get like a general like outline of like the shape.
It is weird. It's almost as though it's not like a physical means of it being stuck to the ground. I would say that you could go ahead and try and assess it, since you are an artificer, skilled in the art of artifice. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
16. Max, you have not been able to roll higher than a 10 at all this entire
You know,
game.
it's been like this all week for me, so I
With that, Max, as you examine this bag closely, you can definitely tell there's no physical means of why it would be stuck to the ground like this. You kind of take a moment and you kind of pull out some of your tools, your little monocle, and you begin to see that this bag is just radiating like energy. Like there's like a power level almost of magical energy that radiates from it.
And is it reminiscent to any kind of magic he's seen before, or more along the line?
It appears to just be some form of enchantment to the bag itself to prevent it from being moved.
Okay.
From what you can tell with the 16.
Someone enchanted this bag so it can't even be moved.
It can't be moved.
He nods.
Well, it might be a good place to hide a key if it can't move.
He nods.
Do you think there's any way to disable it?
Would he? I'm not sure. Let me see if I can think of anything. Hmm. I don't know if I have anything. Let's see. Um, does he know any way that there might be like some sort of like device nearby or something that might be able to undo a magic like this?
I will say with a 16, it does appear that whatever it is here that seems to be affecting the this bag, it could be some sort of like a disabling crystal of sorts or other sort of magical means that could essentially temporarily dampen the charm that was placed on it.
Some sort of crystal or some sort of other object used to dampen the effect. I'm gonna go check up the ladder and see if there's anything up there.
All right, I'll stay down here and make sure no one comes in.
He gives a nod and we'll start climbing up that ladder and looking around.
All right. Meanwhile, we'll go from there to our outside crew, the Mama Bear crew. All right, Captain Whitefang, as you are kind of entertaining these gents, go ahead and just roll me a general persuasion check. This is going to be the vibe that you're giving off. And actually, you can do so at advantage because you rolled really high in the deception. Holy shit. When were you the face of the party?
Oh, right. I was muted. My bad. Yeah. Always the face.
With that, you'll see as you are like the life of the party, Captain. You'll see that. What did you go to this? Did you go here to this pub before? You didn't. You didn't go here, right? You went to somewhere else. Yeah, you went to the shop. So you actually didn't come here. So like you'd see as you go in, there's like all these older men who are kind of just like, you know, gathering around, passing drinks. You see they're kind of like flipping over tables. You'd see that this older sort of like halfling gentleman kind of like gets behind the counter, sort of clicks a button as it looks like one of those rotational big chalkboard things where like suddenly all of the shelves of like medicine and balms and poultices flip around into like a whole like cellar of like hard alcohol, wine, and like and other sort of like liquid juices used to create their own like makeshift sangria and moonshine. And it's like a little bit of a party in here already, as like they're kind of just pulling you over to the counter, and you're kind of presenting yourself really nicely. They're kind of like, "Hey, look who decided to come," and everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, it's." They kind of are all awkwardly just sort of playing along with it because they don't want to like disturb the status quo, and like, you know, like, oh, like who is this? But you know, everyone seems to be enjoying your company so much that no one says anything. Otherwise,
the captain wants to see if he can get the party started even more and then slip out while everyone's having fun.
Amazing, and you definitely do. Go ahead and just roll me a stealth check at advantage. There you go.
11.
Let me go ahead and roll for these villagers. That is a 5. You are able to kind of slip out despite making a lot of noise. You're kind of like, okay, tipping toe over, and you stub your toe, you knock over a barrel, you fall to the ground, but then you look around to see if anyone looked towards your direction. They don't even notice you. They're too busy laughing raucously with each other. You get back up and just very clumsily...
I do like a fist bump.
Yeah.
Still got it.
And you very clumsily leave. As Taeyong, you will see as the captain eventually sort of exits the pub door.
Excellently done, as planned.
And that's how you do it.
Chase, like, how you do what? What did you do, sir?
You'll understand.
Was I not briefed in something?
Don't worry, just keep guarding those hay bales, cadet. You never know, someone could be hiding in them.
You're right. I'll be more vigilant. Kind of just looks at the hay bales. I'm keeping my eye on you.
We're supposed to be
Somebody
fucking
desperately
inconspicuous,
wanting to
right?
leave. Well, Caden, Nujik just brandishes a knife at us.
We're supposed to say inconspicuous, right?
You guys were. You guys were supposed to not draw attention to yourselves.
Well,
but
no, our
Well,
our
all-
job is to make sure nobody bothers the other guys.
yeah, it never goes to the mayor's office or to the windmill. So with that, what are you three doing now? Now that you're able to kind of redirect most of the individuals directly to the pub and not try and go to the windmill?
The area around us, or like in the near area in this town-ish place, is relatively empty now, right? Since most of
It's
everyone's
pretty
in the-
empty. Yeah, there's no kids playing out anymore. They already left to go home. Like I said, this path sort of leads to the rest of the fields, and it also leads to like all the homes and stuff, the more residential areas. This is kind of the main thoroughfare and entrance of the little village.
Okay. How dark is it out now? Like
Relatively
approximately the
dark.
time?
It's only being lit by some little like fiery stones that kind of emit this orangish light here and there to help have some natural light.
Okay, considering how flashy and colorful my clothes actually are, he's going to take off most of them, leaving everything off except for like his pants, and then like roll them up, give them over to Che, and tell them to hold these or take care of these or whatever, as he's gonna try to fly up and gain a more proper vantage point, either at like near the windmill top-ish
Sure.
area, or
You
like
can
in this
move
back.
yourself
Probably,
there if you
yeah.
want.
It'll probably be around here if I can probably find like a good place to stealth up there. The idea is to like to try to take off all the flashy clothes and keep, because he's relatively more dark skinned, it'd help with camouflaging.
All right, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Nice. With that, Taeyong, I honestly outdoor team kind of slaying a little bit. You guys have been rolling the best. You get up there and you kind of like perch up next to the windmill. Max, you actually see as you're up there, I think for a moment you catch a glimpse of a rush of movement, but you don't know what it was. You don't know what it was. You just see something moving out of the window that you're currently at, since you went to the second floor and climbed up here. I would say that you're like probably just a bird or something. But as you perch yourself up there, Taeyong, you get a whole view of the entire village from up here. It's quite easy to see. The buildings aren't tall, and you have a pretty good eyesight. Go ahead and as you're looking around, roll me a investigation check.
Okay.
Ooh,
Damn.
slay.
Taeyong,
More like
MVP.
Tay.
Yeah, you're really emphasizing your name here. Okay, Taeyong, as you observe about, you do see in the distance of the fields, it looks as though very barely you catch that there's kind of where the airfields are, not where like the farming is, but where some cargo ships are currently parked. Or docked, I should say. Cargo ships are currently docked in the tall grass. You do see there appears to be every so often like a whole section of the grass seems to like lift up, showing like a very large, almost like one of those airway hatches that open up to show that there's something else beneath. And that every so often you'd see that there are adults who are clearly here, villagers of the village of Dali, are kind of like pushing big barrels on carts and pushing them over to one of the cargo ships.
So the villagers are still out there working, even though
Some
a
of
lot
them are, yes. You actually see that there are some more out there still working.
Okay, so then he'd make sure to just like telepathically tell Chase, since I think he's the only one within 30. They are the only one within 30 feet.
Yes.
To just describe what's going on. Seems like the villagers seem to have gone in, but there are still some out there. The ground is sorry, the ground is like going up and down. Like there's still something down there, and they shouldn't be working. Tell the captain, and he'll figure something out. Don't do anything crazy.
All right. With that, Che will kind of relay that, say, "Sir, it looks like out in the fields, there's a section of the grass that appears to be lifting up and down, and there's some villagers still wheeling carts onto a cargo ship. They're still working." Taeyong says he can see it from up there. Kind of gestures over to the windmill. Should we investigate or should we hold our position?
Now, I'm not the best at being stealthy and getting a better look at things.
I could go by myself.
No, you have the very important job of guarding these hay
Guarding
bales.
the hay bales.
Tell Taeyong he can go check it out.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'll keep an eye on the gates over here.
With that, as you say that, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Where is my cool dice?
Damn.
Oh fuck! That is a.
That's my perception.
20.
Dirty 20.
Damn. Yeah. You would see that as you're sort of keeping your eye on the gates, which gate are you keeping an eye on? Can you like ping for me on the map?
He wants to pay attention to the one that the mercenaries came out of at night that they said, which I believe was the north gate.
Yes.
The gate that would lead towards Treno.
Yes, the north gate. So as you're sort of checking out that gate, you would notice that you'd hear a bit of like footsteps behind you, and you would notice that Che was actually about to go investigate on their own. And sort of like, but kind of like trailing off to go to the village, to go deeper into the village, basically.
I kind of do like a yellow whisper. Cadet!
Yes, sir.
What about the hay bales? Are they secure?
Yes, they're secure.
Can you double check? I'm concerned.
Oh my goodness. Roll me a persuasion check.
13.
13. It's a natural 1. Che will say, "Sir, yes, sir." And we'll kind of return back, and we'll sort of shout out over towards you. Not shout outs, but we'll say, "Damn,
Is it hay bales or is this a well over here?
It's a well."
Okay, guard the well. I don't think there's anything well about it.
My God. With that, you see, yes, sir. Kind of just trying to gesture up to you to get you to come down. Captain says that maybe you could try, if you feel stealthy enough, you could try getting a closer look. Otherwise, we should hold our position. You're muted, by the way, if you're there, Swift.
Hey, Marcel. Yeah, these are the captain's orders.
Yes,
All right.
and I'll be guarding this well in case anything comes out of it.
Can I insight that they seem very disappointed?
Yeah, go ahead and insight check. You would see that Che looks very loyal and will follow through with the captain, especially after being caught, essentially, which you totally saw all of that. But you definitely see a bit of a frown on their face, but a bit sort of like resigned to their assignment.
Taeyong puts a hand on their shoulder and goes, "Listen, do you think you're up for it?"
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. Checking out what's going on over there. You seem a bit down.
I shouldn't. Captain told me that I should guard the well.
Yeah, and the captain's on vacation right now. So, you think you're up for it?
Interesting. Taeyong, roll me a persuasion check at advantage.
I'm doing problematic shit. I should not be telling them to go out there.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's do it. Do you think you could maybe pick me up?
Gladly. All right. Go back there and like set up a dummy with the clouds I've set up. That should trick him for a bit, and then I'll take you out. All right.
All right.
I'll be waiting back here.
Meanwhile, the captain looking at the gate. A soldier's greatest weapon is patience and discipline, and fulfilling his role.
Hold on, I'm gonna throw off the table. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. Just kidding. They didn't say that. They will sort of set up a silhouette to stay here next to the well before rushing off with Tail.
Alright, cadet. It's not staying too long before Father Dearest gets a bit sus. So let's go.
All right.
We'll take them up and go.
All right, are we firemanning? Are we piggybacking? What's the vibe?
We're gonna roll a 1d3. Hold on.
The suplexes just
Which one's that
Okay.
one?
Well, 3 was Princess Carrier. 1 was Fireman. 2 was just like on the back.
Yeah, okay, piggyback.
Feedback.
Like,
Okay, Che will then sort of climb onto your back and we'll hold onto your shoulders.
alright, hold on tight.
Gotta go fast. And yeah.
Sorry, I just abducted your child.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check and add a guidance to that.
Oh, thank you, Che.
And amazing. I don't think you can even see that even if you rolled a nat 20 perception, Captain White. Can you?
It's possible.
Yeah, I think
I'd have to roll a nat 20 though.
You can give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot. She's no, my child. They're not ready for this. Yeah, I don't see it. I rolled a 4.
Amazing. All right. With that, the two begin to fly off into the night towards the fields, and we'll go ahead and return to the mare crew, the eagle crew. God, this is stupid. Y'all, not stupid. This is wild. Now you guys dividing the party even further. All right.
We're supposed to be.
Let's break it up a little further. Let's one of us go to the child's room, one of us climb out the window. Come on.
All right. So Modest, Brilliance, and Tia, you are guided by Mayor Bao down the sort of lower levels of this establishment, and it's a bit long, but you eventually come to this sort of ground level that's probably about, I want to say, 20 feet deep. So almost like a different floor. And hold on. They eventually lead you to one of the rooms down here where eventually you would see opening up, very different from the rest of the rooms here. Excuse me. It almost looks as though this room is the most neat. It's the most well put together. And it's kept quite organized, but it's also quite featureless for the most part. There is a bed, and you would see resting on the bed is this very, very tiny halfling boy, probably maybe just barely 2.5 feet tall, and is currently sort of like wheezing, breathing deeply, and exhaling as he is resting on this bed that's like 5 times his size, and appears to just breathe in, breathe out, currently unconscious, as you'd see that the mayor kind of just sighs a bit before very cautiously allowing the rest of you in. And we'll just say, this is Chapu. Chapu, you have some visitors. And we'll kind of just guide the 3 of you in. We'll just say, it all started about 4 or so years ago, when he had just turned 1. He was very active when he was when he was young. Much more developed, could walk, could run, already was speaking words. But shortly after he had achieved his first year of birth, he began to collapse and have blackouts. They were sporadic, and we thought they were just rare, and perhaps some sort of hitch in his health, and the doctors didn't think anything of it, but since his 5th birthday, he's been just barely hanging on almost. And has only really been conscious for maybe 2 hours out of the day. The treatment that we were given allows him to regulate his breathing and give him a day back. But it can only be given to him just to be safe once a week. We don't really know what's happening. No one knows.
Okay. First question, does that sound like a familiar illness?
Sure. Brilliant. You can go ahead and roll me a Arcana or Medicine check.
Arcana it is.
Nerd.
Ooh, nice. Okay. 18 plus 5, 23.
3. Wow. Yeah, definitely with a 23. You're thinking about some of the few medical illnesses you know. It doesn't appear to be aligned with those, at least from what you're aware of. There does appear to be something inherently magical about it. That's for sure. This appears to be not exactly an illness, but definitely some form of aberrant disease that the child appears to have contracted. You would know that it appears to be it's known as desert fever, which is quite odd because clearly this child does not seem to be located near a desert. There's not even a desert near here. And it's primarily contracted by dang, you rolled really high. It's primarily contracted by being being injected by a lethal venom emitted by an ant lion.
Okay. By venom from Antland. Okay, with that, do I think Lesser Restoration Cure Poison would do it?
You feel as though this might be a bit beyond Lesser Restoration. some even say that greater like spells of greater restoration wouldn't be possible. Because you rolled so high with a 23, and you are well read with your background being you know what, I would say that go ahead and roll me a history check at advantage, which is just +3. But yeah.
Ooh, 13.
Total?
Can I guidance it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You can guidance it.
Oh, I missed my dice. 16.
Oh, okay, yeah, 16. You've heard that the only way to really cure desert fever officially is through sort of exorbitant means, such as one of the most quick and surefire way, but most expensive way, is by procuring a gem known as a desert ruby.
Through desert ruby.
Yes.
Okay.
It is said to be the sort of like heart or core of creatures known as sand golems. But it's very expensive to even purchase one. To purchase one, you would be looking at like tens of thousands of gold, which is probably why they haven't been able to find a proper sort of way to find that sort of material. And it's also rare to find in general. There's not really, even if you could afford it, it's not really in like in circulation of supply, so to speak.
Okay. Do I get a essence of what the current treatment could be?
Sure. As you're looking around, you notice that it does appear that there is some form of a vial of sorts that appears to hold this like the remnants of a bluish liquid, some sort of concoction. And you notice there's a couple of vials that are empty, almost as though they're being counted, probably by the mayor. And there's about currently 9 of them empty on the sort of bedside table.
9 vials total, or 9 empty vials?
9 empty vials total.
Okay. Brilliance will relay the information saying, I mean, it makes sense that no one was able to help you. I'm so sorry. From the looks of it, this is desert fever. I don't know how it's possible that he's contracted it. It's typically just from the venom of an antlion, and there should be none anywhere near here.
That makes no sense. I've never let him out of my sight.
One of these vials still has residue in it.
Yes.
Tia will look over and just kind of gesture like a hand towards it and go, "May I?"
Of course. Please be careful. It was the experimental medicine we've been using.
Of course. Tia is proficient in poisoner's kits.
Yes, you are.
Can I?
Can you like do a little thing?
Can I do a little thing, baby?
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll me an Arcana check at advantage.
All right.
Okay. Holy shit, Tia.
I like to imagine probably what happens is that Tia like takes this vial, and at first it's looking like very like okay, like very dainty take it, and they just like
reach into their bag with their other hand. They pull out Murmur by the scruff and put him to the side, just the Moogle on the floor, and then just go ahead and like take out like an actual kit that appears to be very like unmarked by anything. I imagine some various little regents and stuff that are kind of sitting to the side. Definitely looks like something somebody would check to see if they have poison in their own food, basically, that kind of thing. And then very lightly kind of swab the inside of this with whatever little fabric they're using and begin to check it out.
Right. With that, as you sort of take some time to investigate this Tia, and you'll notice that the kit you're using is almost, it's, you know, when you're working with medicines, you think you're probably going to be working with maybe an herbalism kit or alchemy supplies. You're sort of coming at it as though to break down the substance as you would approach breaking down a poison to see its components and its reagents. As this is occurring, Feth, what are you up to? You're just keeping an eye on things?
Feth actually kind of wants to cast a spell, but he'll let Tia do what they're doing, basically.
Okay,
He doesn't want to interrupt.
Gotcha. Okay, with that, Tia, as you're breaking things down, pull something up. You would see that it appears to be a very infused liquid substance. There's a lot of mist in it, that's for sure. Almost somehow like infused and caked into the liquid itself. But you also see some particles that are left over remaining that are almost as though they were originally, you can only assume, originally powdered before being added and being transmuted into a liquid form. So originally there was some sort of powder, which was the true source of this medicinal, this sort of like medicine. I would say that you find that it almost like glitters, this glow. The more you look into it, you know, with like little scopes, you can kind of like see the little like almost like the bonds and all the little like micro sort of images of it as you're sort of like sifting through. And you quickly begin to realize that it is definitely a stimulant of sorts. It's as the contents would very likely trigger allow the brain to essentially create more sort of neurochemicals to replace those that are kind of like underutilized, or to like substitute if there's like a lacking of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it almost seems to be in excess, like it's a lot. And I would say with a 20, was it a 23 or a 22? Yeah, 22, because you rolled over a 20. The more you look at it, the more you get kind of uneasy, because it's almost like the stuff you'd find in, like, let's just say, like the back alleys of Treno. It's almost narcotic in nature, but somehow infused into a liquid potion. And you would notice that the bluish color, upon closer inspection, it seems to be muted and transformed, but when you kind of reverse engineer it into its powdered form with your poisoner's kit, it's actually more purplish color.
Purplish. All right. And as Tia is looking this over and kind of quirking a brow at it, they are probably muttering to themselves, mostly like very whispered under their breath, just like, do this and do this and do this and do it. Yeah. And then kind of like cracking one of their knuckles as they're like leaning back from it slightly and goes, okay. And as they lean back into it, is there, I don't know if this would be a medicine check or whatever, but is there anything that comes to mind, either from their time in Treno specifically, of this kind of drug potentially, or from their time before, cough cough.
Yep. I would say with this, you can just go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. We'll say this would be your check to kind of like, being a noble hot shit.
All right. Persuasion. Come on.
Throw a D4 on that.
I'll give you advantage just because I feel like you would have advantage being a charlatan.
Here you go, bud.
Thanks.
There you go. With an 18, you kind of pause a little bit. You've heard of such a substance kind of circling around, especially in China these days, but in most sort of big cities. And you're just like, no. Can it? Can it really be? And you're a bit perplexed, but you recall, even before you left here, even before you had left on your journey to come to Dali from Alexandria, you've heard that there was this very insidious drug that has been circulating all throughout Minfilia over the past couple years, over the past couple years. And the more you think about it, and you think about the components of that drug, it's almost identical. And you begin to realize that this is some sort of liquid medicine form of a drug that is known in the Trenum circles and the underground as Violet Oblivion. VO for short. It is an incredibly insidious arcane narcotic that is said to be infused with a refined solidified mist and ground into a violet sand-like powder that glitters and radiates an arcane glow. All of these details matched the potion you had given, and you had recalled before you came here that the people who were involved in distributing and creating this drug is none other than the Snakes.
Right, and oh boy, considering what they are able to suss out through the medical poisoner side of thing and the drug itself, is there a specific list of things that this would do to a body, let's say?
You're not sure about the potion version that was given to this child, but typically the powder is usually snorted or even sometimes injected or ingested in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, some of the effects, it heightens the body's senses. It also makes the body much more agile, unleashing a lot of neurochemicals to make them more aware. It even causes several sort of depending on the individual, it causes certain aspects and attributes of the individual to become almost superhumanly stronger than capable than a normal individual. And in some cases, for those with the penchant for spellcasting, it can cause them to even have their magics bolstered. And even if they have no ability to cast any spells in the first place, it can sometimes randomly cause the user to possess innate magical ability. However, prolonged use of the powdered form, at the very least, typically causes this user to suffer some form of insidious necrosis or damage to their body. But you get the sense that this interesting medicinal form appears to have blockers that prevent that sort of debilitation. And that the potion itself is a bit more focused, so to speak. It isn't causing any damage or causing any undue harm, but it also appears to be experimental, as even you notice when you were examining it under your tools that after a while it kind of becomes unmixed together.
I see. From that note, Tia will get a look down at the child, and despite the fact that the mayor had said to him that he has visitors, he hasn't responded at all, right?
No, completely out cold.
Okay. Tia kind of looks back to the mayor for a moment and then to their two compatriots, kind of in a few moments of lingering silence before they go. Good mayor.
Yes.
Who provided you this specifically?
It was kind of just looks a bit nervous. I was promised to not tell, but there's this. I feel safe with you. I don't know why. But it was these individuals. They came to our village at the behest. I had been asking around favors for treatments after many holy people and doctors had insisted that Chapu's case was hopeless. But kind of just looks down and looks back up. They said they had an experimental concoction that they would supply us with as much as we could if we had assisted them with some projects, a fair trade, so to speak. Don't really know their names, but they come and they even offer us protection at night.
Yes. I believe the children also mentioned they were some sort of guard from Alexandria.
That was just what we told them. We don't really know where they're from.
I see. Well, I'm not going to soften what I'm going to say. I think you deserve, as his parent, to hear it straight out. And they will very calmly put the vial back where it was, and then kind of like close up the kit very slowly. And as they're doing it slowly, they will speak and say, whatever they were giving your child is akin to something an addict in Treno would have, to put it bluntly. It is an extremely, extremely dangerous drug that is known to cause all manner of ill side effects to the body and to the mind. It is a highly reactive stimulant that can do a number of different things, mostly based around adrenaline.
That's not... That can't be.
I'm afraid so. I am a very well-traveled summoner, and I have seen things like this affect people before. And it is a match for what I have seen.
I can't believe this. Just looks very sort of shocked and kind of just looking around. No, but it worked. Then how does it? So I've been poisoning my own son?
She kind of looks back to the bed for a moment before they go. I'm not sure if his condition, this, as my good friend Brilliant said, antlion situation, this antlion disease, I don't think it's caused by this, but it is a stimulant, as I said, very hyper reactive to the brain. I see some other components going on in this.
Kind
I
of
am
just
not sure.
like thinks to himself and just say, they did. I mean, I had brought people before when he had his, his fatigue and his weaknesses growing up, but it wasn't until just the recent New Year, his birthday. It's on the 5th. We always celebrate it during Heaven's Turn, which is the New Year's in Menphilia, and we'll kind of just say they did appear very shortly after.
If I may be so bold to ask. And as they are saying this, they're going to very calmly they kind of flip their Pentacle of Woe out, and they've just been playing it with it in their hand mostly. That same stress response that Tia usually gives as they are thinking about this. What exactly did they want from you? What is this thing you were giving?
We were working on projects for them, manufacturing and upkeep of this magitech that they had brought into our workshops. You see, underneath Dali, there used to be shelters for war times. It had been adjusted to an underground workshop to help them. I don't really know what exactly they were creating. We were never allowed to look into the boxes, but all we had to do was to divert the machines to the mist, and it created what they wanted, and we pack it into the cargo ships and deliver it to them. I believe to Lynn Bloom.
I see. Brilliance, Feth. The situation at hand here is definitely taking a very heavy turn. Will we be coming? And they just kind of like wave their hand like coming clean, or are we going to keep up airs?
At this point, I think it's best to state our true purpose.
True purpose.
It is true that I am a summoner very clearly, as they look down at the Moogle, the crowds.
Yes. What's up, Kupo?
No.
Just looking down at it, and then back up, and they go,
But we were sent here on behalf of the Queen of Alexandria to look into a situation unfolding with a very mysterious group of individuals who we believe are, to put it bluntly, terrorists.
Serpents.
Serpent.
Yes. Mask.
You mean... Oh, and he kind of almost says it out loud. They're not real. You're saying these are them?
Many nightmares, unfortunately, come from true stories.
What have I done? I've let them into our village.
This is no time to panic, in fact. He still lives, very obviously, so you should take a breath and calm yourself. So long as you hand over any other information, or potentially even the time these individuals arrive, for starters. We will see to it that this will not go unpunished.
It's the least I could do. Oh gods. Eidolons. I've done a disservice to my son, my people.
You did what you thought you had to in the moment. Your intentions were good.
The mist gives dew in the morning, but it can also obscure. Your good intentions were not a wronghood on your part.
And Tia will kind of put up a finger and go, one more thing. And they will go ahead and walk over to this kid's bedside and take a kneel down, and still holding that pentacle in their hand, they kind of gesture Murmur closer and go, Murmur, can you please perhaps assist me in asking a simple question to my oh so generous benefactor?
Gotcha, Kubel. Kind of like floats up and floats over to you, Tia. I'll say, already.
And Tia is going to try to kind of focus on this pentacle, focus their mind, and try to ask a rather simple question of, in his domain, is this kid too far gone?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check. With advantage. Help action.
Okay.
Nice.
18.
Tia, you hear the distant galloping of hooves and the rattling of chains. And as you hear the rattling of chains, you hear a whinny from a distance and lightning striking. But there's no lightning in real life. None of you hear any of these sounds except for Tia. Before Tia, in your head, you hear a calm rain. And you feel almost relaxed. And as though there's still hope.
Okay. Tia will sign their prayer very quickly, and there's like a shiver that is noticeable up Tia's spine, basically. Almost like, not like they fear their god, but it's like they hold such a deep respect that every day is a blessing that they are still alive, kind of thing. And as they stand, they will turn back and go, Odin provides clarity that it is not too late yet.
That's good. Thank you.
Of course. You should stay with your son, look over him, manage his condition for the time being. If there's anything else they have given you, of course, do not touch it. I don't know if there's anything my compatriots can do to alleviate this current poison inflicting this poor boy.
I cannot, but I possibly have a way to find where poison came from.
As far as the Antlion's venom, there's nothing I can do. If you find a desert rose somehow, that should be able to help, but they are quite rare to come by.
Thank you.
Would Lesser Restoration help with the Violet Oblivion?
It would not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
What was that? Veth, you wanted to cast a spell?
Yeah, there were two things, actually. This guy has said multiple times that for some reason he trusts us. Could I try and insight that? Like, if it's just, like, because we're in the presence of a summoner or something else?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. You can insight check it.
Okay.
Yeah, like, none of y'all casted, like, Charm Person or anything, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
With a 16, it seems as though, like, it seems as though, like, as this train passes by, the fact that Summoner's presence seems to help. There's definitely something else. In particular, you begin to notice, Beth, that Brilliance seems to almost shine a particular light about them that you recalled observing back at the camp when there was like a bit of a shooting star beneath the moon. It's almost like this odd radiance.
I see. Okay. And then the other one, which is a bit of a shot in the dark, but they said that this is a poison that comes from an antlion.
Yes.
In Feth's mind, he thinks that if this person has been poisoned, like, they might have to reapply it. So perhaps these snakes have been keeping an antlion, or maybe even just remains of one. So he would grab his this little glass orb filled with this roiling green mist, and will mutter gently to himself, "Mist, mother, help your child. Seek this beast." And he would cast locate animals or plants for that antlion.
Very, very cool. I will say that as you cast this spell, what does it look like, Feth? It's the first spell you've casted.
Well, unfortunately, a 10-foot radius of mist would appear around him as his Veiled in Mist feature goes off, or 20-foot. And this mist basically radiates out of him and like encircles this room, and it will coalesce into like a point, like basically above his eyes, like where a third eye would be, as his eyes kind of glow a bit vermilion as he tries to seek out this beast.
And as you do, you would see that there appears to be not the beast itself, but you definitely locate remains. And you would find that, and I'm going to allow this because I really enjoy your creativity with the spell, so rule of cool, but you begin to notice that amongst the liquids of the Violet's Oblivion that Tia was able to realize, they also every remnant also pings with the venom of an antlion.
This poison is twofold. They were keeping your son under this fever. Remains of antlion are within.
My God. Oh, Leviathan, please forgive me.
Tell me, what time further past here do these individuals show up?
Typically, they show up around past midnight, and many of them they do have agents already in the tunnels beneath.
Giving a small nod. And I see that you had no more of these vials. Was it a plan for you to pick more up from them tonight?
Yes.
I suppose you can say I am very good at changing my face. Where?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Let us say I am very good at changing or disguising myself. Where were
Mhm.
you going to pick these up?
Okay. They were to come here to the city square. There's 2 of them. They seem to be leading this operation.
I see. Do you pay them in anything, or is what you are doing for them payment enough and it is just going to be an exchange?
What we're doing is payments. They just ensure and they check our shipping logs to ensure that we have delivered the packages out.
And are those shipping logs here?
They're beneath in the workshop. I must also come clean. They kind of just. They've been. It wasn't just us working on their projects. They didn't think anything of it, but they seemed quite. Kind of just looks a bit nervous, insistent that we informed them if we ever met any summoners. But we didn't do anything with them. We don't know why they're missing, but they're probably involved.
Giving a small nod.
I thought they were just curious. There was one of them that came by not too long ago. This young lady. She was with someone else.
I see. And when they do come, and they're coming to check the logs to give you this medicine, would you guide them down into the tunnels?
I would, but they said I was not allowed to enter their work. There was a specific building that I was not to enter.
I see.
That they had worked on there.
Well, if that is all to happen tonight, I will ask it very bluntly. Is there keys to the tunnels? Giving a smile and tilting their head. Because I think you have an appointment with much more grander engagements here.
There's multiple ways down. There is an opening in the field. There's also one in the windmill as well. That one's protected by a crystal to ensure that no interlopers could enter without difficulty.
I see. Thank you very much. And I forget, is there a clock in here? Can we get a time?
I would say right now it's pretty early in the evening. Like work kind of just ended. So it's about sort of 6 to 7.
And I'll ask this much before I go making a big ruckus. Are there any of the agents who are staying within the town themselves?
Not in the town, but in the tunnel. There's only 2 of them. They're the ones who are sort of overseeing everything and reporting things. They don't seem to be much, maybe just grunts.
Are any of your people in the tunnel that we can?
There might be a few more. They're probably trying to get the last of the shipments in. They were very adamant that we continue shipping their cargo.
Is there something we could say to them so that we don't have to face in combat?
To my people?
If it comes to it.
You could tell them that the mayor wishes to speak with them.
I see. Is there a bell in this town?
Like what kind of bell?
Like a meeting bell, or like anything that would usually like give off like those
big church bells?
Yeah.
I can cast thaumaturgy.
Yeah, there's
Like
not
those-
really. You'd see as Maribel says, I kind of just yell at my porch.
If you need me to get in contact, I can do.
We should probably try to keep it subtle. Still, for the time being, just in case any of those 2 agents are waiting anywhere. If you'll excuse me. And they'll go ahead and kind of bow themselves out of the room. And the moment that they're around the corner, they are transforming into him and keep walking.
Yeah. All right. With that, Feth and Brilliance, are you 2 staying here?
No, he'd make his way out and he'd say, I am sorry, I am not actually modest. And he'll walk out.
I'm fucking screaming. All right. You can see as you all leave, the mayor just sort of nods, says, "Thank you, and I'm sorry. I must go inform the people."
Do
And
what you do.
we'll just look towards his son, and we'll just sort of like fix his hair before taking his leave as well. And as you all exit the room, we will go to the windmill team. Okay, hi Azalea. Thanks for joining us. You really missed a quite little hot bit. And we'll catch you up a little bit later, but I do have to wrap things up pretty soon for I have to go. But I do want to move on a little bit more and also give you a chance to play. So you guys, like Bam mentioned in his post, I believe Max, you're climbing up the little ladder, right? Let me pull.
Yeah, the sussy little ladder, the
little
submissive
ladder.
and climbable ladder.
Submissive and climbable ladder, and that was really disgusting. I hate that you described it like that. And Minty, you're keeping watch. Max, as you're climbing up, you'd see the windmill still sort of twisting and turning the mechanism here. And at this point, there seems to be a work desk and a little bit of a cabinet here and there. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check to look around.
Hey, I will do that. Oh my gosh.
Period. Nice.
First time.
As you look around, Max, you'd see that there seems to be a hidden compartment underneath the work table here, and as you click it, popping out from the center from the top is this brilliant sort of tiny blue crystal.
Amateurs, you always hide it under the desk. As he gets up and will like walk down or like climb down the ladder pretty easily, and he will kind of go, I found the crystal, Minty and Carter. And he will walk over and just kind of wave it over this bag.
As you do, the bag explodes. Roll deck save, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
It was a car bomb.
As you do, you'd see that there's this small little chime before suddenly the bag becomes the key.
Well, at least we have a way in now. As he will pick up the key and kind of walk over. Should we open it up and see what's inside?
Have we? I don't know if we had. So did they check for magic overall?
No one's
We know-
cast magic yet.
Yeah, no one's cast detect magic, but we know
okay,
there's traps around.
Okay, so if that's true, basically I will Brain is dying. I will use detect magic on the trapdoor.
All right. There does appear to be magic on it, but it seems to be transmutation magic that reacts to the key, which is also in transmutation magic.
I think we might be safe since you have the key. If we tried to lockpick it, that might have been an issue.
I'm kind of giving a nod before kind of getting down. Well, do you want to do the honors?
Sure.
And he will give the key to Carter and then walk to the other side of the room, just in case it still explodes.
Hiding behind
yeah.
Minty, using Minty as a human shield.
Of course.
Minty, do you do anything, or do you kind of just brace yourself while Carter opens the hatch?
Back up.
Okay, everyone just backs up, lets Carter take the brunt of it. Hi, Azalea, you get to open it now.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm letting Azalea be involved.
Carter, Carter will squint at the backing up like, is there something I don't know? Are you just being careful?
Giant spikes could shoot out of it, and even if the key works, it could still happen. So I'm being safe.
And you watch Quincy hand the key to their owl instead, and also
Amazing. as your owl opens, hear several gears click very sharply as just immediately around the entire hatch seems to lock into place and then unlock as it pops open with a pop. And beneath, you find a ladder that leads down to damp darkness.
Any magic in that darkness within 30 feet?
You do sense something, but it's odd. Like an absence of magic, almost. Like anti-magic.
I don't know if we're going to be able to use spells down there.
Well, at the very least, we have an infiltration point. I could make sure that door in the back. And he gestures to the door kind of leading out like the back of the windmill. Make sure it's constantly unable to lock where it appears to be locked when they push it closed, but we can just open it up easy.
All right.
More so,
Do what we can.
if we're going to go down there, I'd rather have everyone gathered.
Well, if we're going to go down there, you should let them know about the possibility of the anti-magic field. Some of you are very reliant on magic.
Giving a nod, which is why I think we should definitely regroup. We've gotten the information and a key, so he gives a thumbs up and then just goes to leave.
to exit out the front door.
He's gonna, of course, look at the windows, make sure nothing sus is going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, sneak out.
All right, cool, perfect. As you sneak out, Minty, Carter, do you guys stay here to keep watch, or do you guys follow Max?
I think. Are you staying, Minty?
Do you think that someone should stay and watch?
I think it's more worrisome if only one person does stay. You might be able to stealth, but if you're caught out, then it's an issue. And well, people can also come from down there, I'd assume.
True, but if they come out, we'll all be in a group, right?
Not if me and they go find the others and you just stay and watch, no?
Well, I'm not stupid enough to stay here alone.
Alright. I guess we're regrouping, so come on.
All right. As the two shady bitches begin to leave along with Max.
Another shady bitch.
Another shady bitch. This is the shady bitch group, actually. The three of you leave after, Minty admitted last session that that's not their real name. So, anyways, as you regroup, you would see as Captain Whitefang is very diligently looking towards the north gates, seemingly by himself, and a bundle of sticks that appears to be forming this silhouette of an individual wearing clothes similar to what Taeyong had worn earlier. But Captain Whitefang is totally by himself.
Max weirdly just is right behind Captain Whitefang and goes, "Why are you alone?"
I'm not alone. Jay's watching the will.
Oh, he isn't.
They aren't.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry, no, they aren't.
No, they are. Where's Jay?
I don't know. Anyways,
Well,
we've discovered a access point deeper down with anti-magic. I also found a key hidden by a magic crystal, and he holds up too. And we have an access point to go somewhere deeper, maybe where the summoners are being held.
Right.
Wait, were you really fooled by a bundle of sticks and a sheet?
I have been diligently watching all the exits and entrances.
How
Yeah,
sweet
how-
Shay's
how
job
drunk-
was
the
to watch the
captain?
other entrances.
How,
You
how
do-
sleep
Trusted
deprived
them.
is this man?
Actually, Carter, if you would like, you can go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay. Can I be
Even with
closer?
Even with a 12, you get this vibe that like the captain, he doesn't seem exhausted per se. He actually seems pretty well put together despite having no sleep. You can tell he hasn't slept, but he's not exhausted, but clearly on edge.
Well, I sent Tae Young out into the fields. There seems to be movement out there and some weird opening mechanisms.
We had weird opening mechanisms as well. Strange. Have the others come back at all?
Not yet. They're still keeping the mayor occupied.
Great. I guess we will wait for them to come out and see what they've got. And then we can give everyone the information and plan our next move.
All right. Anything else from you four?
Max takes out his all-purpose tool and just starts messing around with it. Just
In the middle.
Yeah,
Alright.
just
We'll say at this point, the three of you, Eagle Team, begins to emerge finally.
And Tia's just straight up stole this
Yeah,
guy's
it just
face.
looks exactly like you look exactly like the Tabaxi man, right? That's what
Yep.
you're doing. Yeah, so you just see the mayor pop out with Brilliance and Feth.
Well, we don't know it's the mayor. We just know it's the vaccine man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Brilliance, who's your new friend?
With Murmur sitting on their shoulder too.
Yeah.
What happened to Lady Tanat?
It is deception.
Oh, okay.
Tirnak, beneath all the fucking transformation, just blinks and goes. In their normal voice, mind you. They haven't modulated their voice yet. They just go, right, so anyway. They look back forward and go, Snake's definitely here. We talked with the mayor. We got it squared away. He's been accidentally poisoning his son. That's kind of fucked. But the snakes are coming here tonight at about midnight, a little past, to this very location. So...
Great. I've discovered an underground hatch into leading somewhere with anti-magic thanks to the detective Carter. I found a key to the hatch so that we can go down there without being impaled by a whole bunch of spikes and booby traps. The key was hidden as a piece of magic to make it look like a bag, and I found the crystal in the workshop up there to dispel such a thing. He holds
Very
out the
good.
key. Here you go.
Very good. Takes it, and then like right back at him goes. On top of everything, we got his blessing, and there are two others that are below, apparently, working for the snakes that are overseeing an operation. They are smuggling out various goods, and they're very much like giving this information back, and like, like in the same tone, as they look this key over, and they go, apparently these things were heading, I do not believe, towards Lindblum. They are making all sorts of various different magitech for them and sending it to Lindblum.
Magitech and Lindblum. It kind of like blinks. That's very odd.
Hey, hearing this information, this has been going on for months, right?
Apparently.
Have
least 6 months.
have I heard of anything in like recent times of like unknown like shipments or something being sent to Lindblum from like just my military branch?
You can go ahead and roll me a history check at advantage. Why do you roll
You know what?
well?
You know what? Have a guidance anyways.
What?
I don't know. I just want to be involved.
Wait, this might be my last roll. Should I just use my nat 20?
This could be your last roll for the evening. You do have a free nat 20 for the thing.
I mean, you could nat 20 and then still have my guidance.
That's so fucking dumb.
Yo,
It's
let's
a
do it.
reaction, a cantrip. I might as well.
Okay,
Well,
fine.
technically, you can only use it when you fail. So if he passes, I can't really do it.
Okay, so with 24, Jesus, Captain Whitefawn, you have been hearing about some odd shipments coming through in the past month. You would think maybe sometime in early January. But before you could even really you never really looked into it. It was kind of out of your purview. You didn't think it was that big of a deal, sort of thing. And typically the shipments were then sort of recorded and done, and were probably assigned elsewhere. So potentially there was, but you're not too sure. It's not really in your field of expertise, but you definitely have heard of shady things, and you do recall sometimes there are what's it called? Sometimes there are there near Lindblom, there's this section that used to be warehouses that were parts of Lindblom at one point, but were abandoned when the city kind of became more closed off, and it's sort of like a big countryside city situation. And since then, that area has become sort of like a huge crime-infused area. Potentially that could be where the shady shipments were kind of heading towards. You're kind of putting two and two together and thinking that's a potential area.
Running it. Yeah, that checks out. I didn't really pay attention to it at the time, but if these shipments are going to Lindblom, I think I know where they are.
This is all good information for the Queen when we return. But for now, shall we set up an ambush for these two?
Well, it might be best if we draw out the other two, since there's the anti-magic field down below.
We don't know how far that expands. Would the mayor know anything about that?
They made no mention.
Even if they did, I don't believe it would be a thing that affects them, so they wouldn't necessarily clock it.
And likely not something that's controlled up here anyway.
But depending on how much ruckus we may make, they might move the summoner in case. And if it's anti-magic, it might only be hampering the summoner's ability to escape.
No, wait, hold on. Escape. The summoner's still here.
Supposedly, maybe. I'm hypothesizing that much, unless they moved them.
We have no proof that the summoners are still here. It's only a theory.
But working on it, it's an idea that if they were still here, they would need anti-magic to contain them.
You guys can roll an insight check if you want to hunch check, essentially. Whoever is theory crafting in Pepe Sylvia.
Let's Pepe Sylvia out, shall we?
Of course you roll better on this one, Brilliance, on a Pepe Sylvia check.
Seems everyone's doing
Of course Theo would also roll well on a
I'm
Pepe
rolling
Sylvia
terribly.
check.
Of course, I would roll really bad.
I will not roll.
I'm the one coming up with the theory.
You can't sell it. That's the thing. Everybody's like, what is it?
It's like, hey, this seems like an idea. Oh, guys, look what I just thought of completely.
Oh my
just
god,
taking it.
So that's
figured.
exactly what happened. Yeah. Max said
Yeah.
something and someone else says it louder.
You rolled it higher. Minty starts saying it again.
Yeah, so Brilliance and Minty, especially Brilliance, especially because you were actually there when you were talking with the mayor about it, and Minty, you're kind of, logically speaking it out. And I'm gonna say, even though you guys didn't roll well, you guys rolled 9s and 14s. It's not that you guys. It seems pretty plausible, but Minty and Brilliance, you're almost positive. Summoners are powerful, but you also know that their ability to call upon the Eidolons is still based on the rules of magic. If there is an anti-magic field that could disable their ability to defend themselves. Hence, an area of anti-magic is probably where they would keep a summoner or summoners if they had multiple, if they were disappearing. And also Minty and Brilliance, because you rolled stupidly high. What the fuck, actually? You get this vibe that that could be the reason why there's even Snake's agents still here, or rather staying there exclusively down there, from what the mayor had told you, to keep an eye on the summoners, or perhaps even take the summoners from the village, because it seems they're disappearing from the village underneath the villagers' noses. So yeah, whenever you guys want to like have your little eureka moment, even though Max is the one that inceptioned the theory to you all.
I like to think he just says it, and then just everyone's like, you know what? You're right. And he's like, thank you. I needed the validation.
Someone just
Yeah.
goes like,
So,
"Nah, there's no way that's it." But what if?
So yeah, Minty, Brilliance, anything you would like to say?
A quick question.
Yes.
Like, would there be like anything from like the dreams I had that might be able to help me intuit that information?
You do remember in your dreams there were sounds of something. And go ahead, Minty. Actually, not even Minty. If your passive perception's at least 15, now that you're out here, all of you hear from the well a very weak, almost animal sounding an animal sound. It's very familiar to you all, but especially familiar to Minty. It sounds like a very exhausted, like a little quit, like a very almost like a squawk, a very gentle squawk. And Minty, because you hear this, you recognize that sound to be that of a chocobo coming from the well.
Oh my god, Timmy fell down the
Can I go over to the well and peek in?
Yes, you can.
I think after that insight, everyone does.
Che, are you down there? my perception is not high enough, so it's just a squawk.
Yeah.
Minty, fall in.
As you look down, you can't really make out any sound. But Carter, now that you're here with me, sight, it's really dark. Like even darker than your dark vision, so it goes down quite a bit. The well does. But you do hear the quay much more prevalent here, and you can definitely confirm that is the sound of a chocobo. You recall from your dreams the dream. Well, someone's targeting. Okay, that's scary. You can tell from your dreams. You recall in your dreams there was an injured chocobo in your dreams. Carter, as you look down, you do see that same anti-magic vibe with your detect magic still up. And then you get this. You can probably immediately intuit that wherever the underground tunnel is, it's connected to where this well connects to.
Oh. The well leads into the tunnel. It's anti-magic down there as well.
So I guess the plan is take care of the two up here, go down through the windmill, and maybe find the summoner down there. That lock was, or that hatch was heavily guarded with spikes and things like that, in case anybody wanted to go looking into it.
Question.
Sure.
Cat and Taeyong missing?
Yeah, they're still missing.
They're still missing.
Taeyong
went to check the fields. Che is missing.
Fucking like looking around, and then like kind of just slowing down and being like, "Don't you think we should have everybody here before we do anything?"
Why don't you have Murmur send a message to them and tell them to come back?
And looking down to Murmur.
Murmur's like, I don't really feel like it, Kubo.
I can help re-dye your fur.
Alright, hold on, give me a second, Kubo. As Murmur climbs onto your arms. Kinda hot like this, not gonna lie, Kubo.
The tabaxi? Just like softly petting Murmur.
Yeah. I want to grow up and look like that, Kubo.
And if you do it exceptionally well, Murmur, I will make you a switchblade.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I support this. Just very softly petting them.
Gives a thumbs up.
All right. With that, as Murmur sends a message, are you there, Taeyong? You alive, Swift?
Finally resolved itself. Hello, hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I
Well,
am
all
here.
that craziness was happening. Meanwhile, Che is riding on your back as you're flying towards the field. And incredibly stealthed out, completely hidden in the darkness as you guys are just sort of observing things from above. Are you going straightly? Are you trying to fly directly towards where you saw the hatch going up and down?
Yeah, but making sure not to get caught, as our job is to observe.
Okay, so just recon. As you are sort of flying over there, you begin to see as there is a lot of people kind of just finishing up, wrapping up, putting stuff into the what's it called? The ship. And every so often, the hatch would kind of open up and is left open at this point. And there seems to be sort of like a walkway, almost like a platform that's more like metallic and like constructed into the field itself, leading to this underground area. It doesn't appear that any of the villagers have noticed you at all. They're not really looking up at the sky. Every so often they'll kind of glance up, but by then you're already out of sight, having zoomed by them.
So
and Chase
you
just
said there are moments where the thing just kind of stays open, unattended. Yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Hey, how reasonable do you think it'd be for me to shoot?
To try and fly in.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me. Let's see.
He does have like 40 feet of movement, so he's pretty
Crashes
fast.
into it. Crashes into it.
I would say, considering what you're aware of your movements, because you do have a fly speed of 40 feet, and you can dash with Step of the Wind, you could probably zoom in really fast before anybody even notices that you're in there. Oh. Yeah, audio.
Hello, sorry.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
so
good.
I could theoretically make it in, but would it be still stealthy?
Up to you. It appears at this point, after some time, the villagers have fully stopped. So that's totally up to you at this point. As they kind of left it open, and it's currently unattended as they're kind of making sure everything's ready for shipment in the cargo ship.
It's the ship. Fuck. Okay, he'll try to dash in, Step the Wind, key point, whatever, get in real quick just to see if he can get in, check out what's going on, and then get out before they figure out.
Che sees as you're sort of descending and flying in, says, are we going in?
Yeah, there we are.
All right. With that, as you are sort of Step of the Wind, growing, immediately zooming through, you you see as Che's hands around your shoulders kind of clench around tight, and I will then I'll hold on to you as you zoom through very swiftly, and you head into the hatch, which is currently unattended, and you see what looks like this opening that leads into almost like an assembly line of sorts, holding what appears to be boxes that almost look like triangular prisms, but are quite large in width, that are kind of being carried through this assembly line. Currently, the assembly line is not actively moving. But actually, no, I lied. Sorry, the assembly line is very slowly moving, and the box and the triangular prism boxes are kind of are being dismounted by the assembly line and then being packed into barrels in mass, essentially. And you would see this, and I'm pretty sure I can show this to you in a way
that no one else can see.
Yeah, or not. Oh, I know I can. Period. Okay.
Yeah.
Where is Swift?
Work, mama.
I give you my address, but is that really necessary?
Okay. There you go. Can you see it?
Let's see. Is it supposed to show up on my screen or in my chat?
In Swift. In Foundry.
Yeah,
I
and
can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it. Can you see it, Swift?
I can't see it not in the Foundry.
Oh, really? Weird. Oh, it's because I gave it to Sam. Sam's not even here. Now you should go see it.
This is weird. I don't know what to make of this. It just looks like a platform.
Yeah, it's kind of like the assembly line, and Che is just sort of like, what is this?
Do I know? I don't imagine this is like something historical, right?
No, this just looks like some Magitech stuff. Like it's an assembly line that's carrying things through.
I'm not sure. Can I like look into one of these, like pull one of these triangular looking things out and inspect the contents?
Yeah, do you go to a box and you try and open it?
Yeah, because no one's here, right?
Currently, no one's here.
No
Go
one's here.
ahead.
So you're gonna take one.
Go. You're just gonna grab. It's quite large. It's like the size of a person.
He has 20 strength. Can he attempt?
Are you just gonna take it with you while you're carrying Che, or are you just trying to open it yourself?
Well, they're moving. That's right. Why? Right?
Yeah.
So I
yeah,
have
they're
to.
moving on the little things. Oh, you're trying to pull it off, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Easily enough. Go ahead and roll an athletics check.
I hope I can do this.
Che will guide you with the reaction.
Okay. Let me get that 1d4, please.
Period.
Okay, 16.
All right. With that, you are able to pull one off as Che kind of like guides you, and it's just like, Ifrit, watch over. Yeah, you will see that you're able to pull one out.
What's in the box?
As you crack open the box, you would see inside the box there appears to be hidden in the stack of hay. It is, you kind of jump for a moment because you see familiar sights. A large bulbous body, steepled hat, and a face dark like ash. It's
A face?
it's almost identical to the construct you had faced in the Glaucier's cavern.
Oh.
And you would see
Well.
this.
Well, shit. No wonder this fucker is so heavy. Sorry, am I supposed to see something?
I'm gonna open it up.
Oh, sorry. Preemptive.
Oops, that's not what I wanted to press. I'm gonna just post it. Y'all are lucky for now.
No vague posting, Sag.
This food.
If it's... Did I not do it? Never mind. I don't have an image. But yeah, basically it just looks like a steepled hat, like one of those constructs. But unlike the one you faced in the cavern, it does not have wings.
It doesn't have wings. And I think I probably asked before, but there's no like reference to this or like something that's described like this in historical
You've
context,
never seen
you know?
this before. This was wild.
Okay, so no mythology or history on this. This is
Che is just like,
relatively-
oh, Taeyong, it's just like the thing we faced. The mage Warforged thing.
Why are they here?
If
Okay.
it's in one of these boxes, could that mean
This is what they trade Nova? Question mark?
what'd you say?
This is like it'd be a safe guess to be like, this is like what they're trading or helping the
Yeah,
people with,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the ones
yeah.
that were in hoods.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The villagers are putting these into ships, but where to?
Is there an indicator anywhere?
Yeah, do the shipping containers have like addresses on them?
Yeah, two from.
You do see in the barrels. In the barrels that they're being loaded into. It has the Lindblumen worm insignia. This is that can't be. I think we should head back, like now.
How heavy is this?
We'll kind of just look out and we'll just it's pretty heavy. You wouldn't be able to carry this and Che.
Hey Che, how fast are you?
I don't think you could stealth with that thing.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, yeah.
I think we should put it back in its box.
Right. I'll put everything back, try to make sure it's all clean and cozy or whatever. He probably wouldn't be very good at putting.
We should. Oh, your audio again.
Sorry, it's up to Che to how cleanly we are the audio. Not audio, fuck. I have a problem with audio. Evidence.
See, as Che is just like, gosh, I really want to see more, but we should really head back. This might be a bit too much for us to handle.
Yeah, well, we've done our scale and probably get out of here before they close up and leave with us. And then he'll put it back on the thing, and then we're gonna try to get the fuck out.
Another stealth check.
Okay, I think my rolls are starting to die on me.
Or not.
Or
Jesus
not.
Christ. Man, I was hoping we could fuck up on this one. But no, with that, you and Che are able to slip out like the wind.
The step of the wind. Oh, fucking audio.
And as Murmur is about to send the message with you, Tiernaark, you would see that I'd say Detective Carter, you and Feth and Minty and Rev actually. Why do all you have high passive perception? Basically everybody but Max Brilliance and Captain Whitefang. You would see in the sky is Taeyong sort of spiraling towards y'all with Che on his back.
I think they're on their way.
Taeyong and Cadet see, of course, the tabaxi among them.
I see the party and there's a person with them?
Oh, we've already been. It's obvious we've been seen by them, right?
Yeah, we're seen at this point.
Okay.
You can't. You're not invisible. You know, you're in the middle of the sky, going towards them.
Yeah.
So, and they were looking toward your direction.
Just to see like who would be looking up at them.
It would be basically everybody but Captain Whitefang, Brilliance, and Max.
Okay, but he can't see their mouths. Okay, perfect. He's going to then try to divert like hard turn left behind a building and then just like walk back and then like come out with Che and then arms around their shoulder and then very groggy like wow, that was what a rocker, as he comes up beside the you know, the thing, the tavern, the bar, and he's like, oh my goodness, I was supposed to do something. Hello.
You are a horrible liar.
Che says, my apologies. Lady Tanan, is that you?
Small nod.
My. What is this form?
The mayor.
We uncovered a lot, and they'll wave them in and give them a rundown of everything that we had discussed previous.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry for the sun. That sucks.
As people are talking, it might not be too important, but Detective Carter does want to test something via the well.
Sure.
On me, I have a rope of climbing. They command it to kind of hold tightly onto like their forearm, and then hold most the bundle of rope kind of in their hand and slowly let down the rope to basically see how early or how just far the anti-magic starts.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you-
because the rope would stop working once it hit
Yep.
the field.
I see.
I'm
Yeah.
holding on to it, but basically the where it's attached onto my forearm would probably go loose because I've commanded it to do that.
So it goes. So it'll go loose the moment it stops working, basically, right?
Yeah.
I would say, you want to know the number of feet.
Yeah. I have
stops moving correctly.
Yeah, I believe it's a
It's 60.
60-foot long. Yeah.
I would say it actually goes for maybe about, or what you could tell because you're a fucking nerd. I'm not gonna make you roll because you know that passively. Probably about 50 or so feet, close to the end before it stops working.
Huh. The tunnels, or at least where the anti-magic in the tunnels starts, is 50 foot deep. I want to maybe
50.
test that in the windmill as well.
There's anti-magic down there?
Yeah.
Oh, we Taeyong and I, we had would you like to tell him, Taeyong?
I'd love to, but I'm cutting it in and out intermittently, so why don't you do your best?
It seems like you're glitching.
Yes, please tell us what you were doing instead of guarding the well.
Wow, I can't believe the well actually was a clue.
We
Sorry.
would have known if you were here.
Now, Captain, it wasn't their fault, alright? I took them on because I figured they seemed a bit down.
Taeyong believed in me.
As did I.
Anyways, we had found the shipment that the villagers were packing into the cargo ships. It appears that they are packing the constructs that we had the construct that we had faced in the cavern, but much smaller and without wings, almost as though they're being mass produced. And the barrels they're being packed into have the Lindblumen insignia.
How many?
Mass produced.
From the barrels, maybe 20 barrels and three boxes to each barrel. So all we know, at least 60. And that's just the ones that are still there, not counting the ones they've already packed into the ship.
An army?
Almost. We also heard noises from down there. There was a pathway to go deeper in from that entrance.
Oh.
As well.
Did you sense any anti-magic? I don't know if you would have been able to.
No, I had no idea there was any anti-magic, but I did hear a loud noise, like wind, and a machine, I believe. It sounded like a Magitech pumping something. If Magitech is working, that means that section, at the very least, must not be with anti-magic.
So that section would not have the summoner. However, that would be possibly an escape route if we needed to. So, my ideal logical explanation and a rough estimate of a map of this place is that we are at one end, and he points off that other side is the other end. This end, most likely, the one leading into the village, is where they would have captured the summoners, putting them in a area close by enough to from where they kidnapped them, giving them the least amount of opportunity to mess up. They took their mounts to make it look like to the villagers that they had just left, from what we know about the chocobo noises. And all that being said, most likely, if we do free whatever summoners or individuals who are captured, they may or may not be in a condition that we just need to evac, or in a condition where they could help us.
Shouldn't we help them? If the people that you're going to meet aren't going to be here for another 5 or so hours, or 6, We can't just sit around here like this.
Exactly. And if we can shut down whatever magitech that is producing these golems, then we shut down whatever supply the snakes are building and bringing into Lindblom. Break the
And-
machine, they run out of support, we dispatch of those down here. They cannot call upon any reinforcements, any of the golems, activate any magics.
You're right, if they activate those golems here, it would be the end of this village.
That is absolutely correct, and all of you are definitely 100% on. So, can we get the chocobo out of the well?
Well, no, it's like it's not in the well. You just hear it through the well.
Yes. Which most likely means that in and of itself leads down to a position. How big is the well?
I would say, even despite the picture, the well is actually probably it's quite large. It's about, I want to say, like 15 feet, 15 feet diameter.
So in all essence, potentially, if we wanted to just get the summoner out, we could heal the chocobo, put them on the chocobo, and have them fly out.
Alternatively, perhaps I can try flexing my rank, and maybe we could procure some of those ships. They're going to Lindblom. I can come up with a false story. I'm checking on the shipment.
The only problem with that is that snakes most likely are involved with the ship's maintenance and crew.
But as far as we know, there's only the two in the tunnels.
And the villagers don't know anything. I'm sure the captain can pretend to tell the villagers on the ships to either stop packing and...
Exactly. We can stop the production of them putting on, at the very least. I wouldn't say procuring the ships is in our department. We don't know if they're actually on the ships or if those two snakes that are going to deliver the drugs are the ones operating those ships.
If there is any sign of any strange thing in this operation, speaking of the ship, we better act pretty fucking quick for those things that are underground, because the moment they probably smell hide or hair of anything suspicious going on, they're probably just going to start rattling the wasp nest.
Order of operations, then. We go down, secure the summoner, dismantle whatever snakes are down there, make sure the summoner is safe, and then stop the airships.
And then stay for this meeting and then beat up a couple of dudes in town square?
Yes.
As this discussion is happening, Feth and Detective Carter,
High passive.
both of you notice as Taeyong begins to jump down the well.
Sorry.
Hey.
Too late. Taeyong, you descend. As you fly down, immediately, you are falling down for just a moment before you activate your gem flight and begin to descend very gently. And as yeah, go ahead.
He's just gonna keep going down until he can see or sense some sort of being, something that's not just dark.
As you hold on one moment. All right. I just had to check a rule because I needed to see if anti-magic would disable your flights.
But it's racial, right?
It is. I could be mean and technically rule it as magic, but I won't. Technically, rules as written, it is not magic. So you descend, and Carter, you say, "Hey," and all of you look to the well, and yeah, before we go back down there, everyone looks at Carter.
Looking at Carter.
Why are you shouting?
Taeyong's gone down.
Taeyong, how does he...
Murmur, do me a favor before he gets down too low. Call him an idiot via sending.
Gotcha.
Actually, no, I think he's onto something.
There's a perfectly good...
Should we go down too?
An idiot by
No.
going by himself. It's sort of,
Yes, we should go down.
All
We
right.
don't know. That man is brash. For all we know, he could go down there and start punching whatever he sees.
Detective
very
Carter,
least-
does the rope work as a rope outside of it being magical?
Yes, it does. If I pull it up a little and then just tie it to the top here, it ties it to where the well would be tied. There.
Just
It's
use
still magical.
hand.
and
Okay,
useful.
alright.
All right.
Remember, you stay up here. I don't know if you're gonna disappear or not.
Gotcha. I'll keep my eyes up here, Kupo.
Oh, before I go, and Max takes a fucking handgun off his hip and hands it to Murmur.
Murmur takes it. Fuck yeah!
Why
to
would
kill.
you give that thing that?
He puts
Shoot
he
to
puts up a
kill.
finger. He puts up a finger. Shoot to kill. Always aim for the center body of mass.
I'll do you proud, Dad.
He pats him on the head before going down the well.
Tia, Max, and this cursed fucking.
He needs to protect himself if he's going to be alone. I'm a responsible dad.
Amazing. Yes. Anything else?
Tia, is your form shifting non-magical?
It is non-magical.
Useful. Let's go.
And they'll change their form away from the mare. If we're going down there to, I don't fucking know, the rabbit.
All right. With that, as you guys are all heading down immediately after Taeyong, any objections? Anyone? Thoughts?
Not a single
I'm sorry.
damn one.
It's I
Fef-
really
Fef is
don't
acting
want
like he didn't
to,
see it.
but we split up the party so much already.
And
Yeah.
guess what? Even after we're down, as long as it's long enough, I can deactivate the rope and still bring it, so no one knows we did this. There's no rope. at
Yeah,
the
and also trap
Yeah,
us
but
down
how are you
here.
gonna get it back up though?
There's
You
a
throw it.
ladder, like
Yeah,
maybe,
there's also a ladder.
maybe 5 or 10 feet away.
Amazing.
I think
also
I'm just gonna go
badass
down the
robot.
hatch.
Are you going down the Che is like, Captain, let's stick together.
If they link up, I'm sure we'll find a way.
Well, we aren't entirely sure that they link up. It's something could be blocking the way between the well and the hatch over there.
Well, the last thing we want is for someone to collapse the well while we're all down there. They have
And
no way
rogue
out.
soldiers get shot, so bear that in mind. As Tierneck just goes down.
Do not worry, everyone. Tiong is the smartest of us. They have a plan. And he will go in.
My God.
Max is already down the well, but he would have
Yeah.
written a thesis about how that statement is actually false.
Feth is now my best friend.
Che will just look towards this captain. Will just say, "Sir, I don't know if it's a good idea, but if you're insisting on going that way, I'll go with you."
Damn it, Jay.
The hatch has anti-magic.
So does
I think that'd
this.
It'll
The
be
voice echoes up slightly. It's all
Cap-
anti-magic. Magic.
All anti-magic.
Captain, look, there were. I don't know if your hearing is as bad as your memory, but there was chocobo sounds down there, and I have good reason to think that there's a summoner with the chocobo down there, and that's where the noise came from.
And as Minty says that, hey, Roland, roll me a D100.
okay. I'm gonna pull out the LGBT 100.
You have an LGBT 100?
Yes.
We're all hundreds.
That is a 94.
Ooh, Roland.
You are now gay.
Immediately,
He's already.
as Minty mentions that they have good reason to believe that the summoner is with the chocobo, suddenly your eye begins to sear with pain, and you feel a tug pulling you towards the well.
Okay, I see what you're putting down.
And Minty, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Actually, no, Minty, you have a passive perception of what? 19?
17.
17, yeah, 17. Minty, you saw a faint light coming from the captain's eye for a second as he kind of like winces and covers it in pain. What do you do?
Does your
On second thought, I think the well is a brilliant idea.
I am the smartest of us all.
does your eye usually glow when you finally come to brilliant realizations?
Oh, yeah, it's like a light bulb moment, but in my head. I'm gonna roll a deception check. We all know that's
You can roll insight, Minty, if you want.
You know, that's a funny way of deceiving. Yeah, I like that.
That's
Actually goes off.
Amazing.
We all hear this and we're like, the captain would never have a light bulb moment.
Why did I waste my nat 20?
You could have used this nat 20 on this.
Oh,
Oh, Captain White.
Oh, the misery.
All right. All right. As you begin to make your way down the well, I'm assuming all of you at this point, and Minty incredulously not believing a shit out of Captain Whitefong speaking out of his ass. You all make your way down. Taeyong, you make it down there first as the whole party eventually slides all the way down one by one. And I'm going to go ahead and switch the map for everybody since we're all there. We'll just there. Taeyong, you see this first, and eventually everyone does too as you kind of make your way down. This appears to be almost like this large sort of almost like a little bit of a stable. As you'll notice that immediately visible in front of you, Taeyong, is this white chocobo that looks exhausted and barely chewing on a gazelle green that is kind of just whimpering and looking very somber and melancholic, trapped in this sort of like pen as you emerge from the well. And you're kind of making your way down. Actually, as you're making your way down, I'll keep your stealth roll from earlier. I need everyone else to roll me stealth checks. You guys are trying to be stealthy now.
Okay.
So everybody roll stealth checks. I'll roll for Che.
See, well, I use that one inspiration.
I'm just gonna use the D4 now.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
15 for Che.
Can I roll better?
This is a party skill check, so I'll include this check.
I asked for it and it gave it me.
Brilliant! Holy shit!
I have disadvantage because I'm wearing heavy armor.
Oh my god, why are you doing this?
As do I.
Me and Fath are pulling. I'm 20.
Okay, let me check the failures and the successes. Okay, but we did get a natty 20, so a natty 20 counts as 2 successes.
Thank you.
I can guidance one person.
I would say guidance revenant.
Okay.
Because revenant's just below the tusk.
I also have guidance.
I think everyone else is basically good. Like it wouldn't be enough, basically.
Okay.
The DC is 15.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Just slapped Rev on the ass and was like, "Shut the fuck up, be quiet."
Yeah, brilliant. Rev's ass so loudly that they're like, "Ow!" And then you hear "ow, ow, ow" kind of echo.
You put a sock in the muffler.
Yeah, but no, you guys are actually pretty stealthily all together as you slide through. And Taeyong, you see this first, and you kind of hear voices in the distance as you make it here, and you see there's sort of like 2 paths and a lit, almost like a little bit of a gazebo of sorts underneath here, right next to the stable. And you hear some voices, and you see some figures in the distance. And let's go ahead and shift the map so that y'all can see to the Dali Underground.
Spooky.
Sorry, guys, you railroaded us.
Imagine there is a white chocobo here, basically looking very injured and depressed as it's kind of barely nudging its face against the gazelle green, looking quite exhausted. As you guys are all sort of like depositing here very swiftly, and I would say that Taeyong, Taeyong, you're here first, but everyone kind of very swiftly follows behind you, and you would hear some voices, and you'd hear. Let's see.
Actually, upon seeing the thing and like
The chocobo?
well, there are other voices there, but they're kind of like distanced, right?
No, they're in this little shed.
Oh fuck!
Time to shut the fuck up.
Then he would, at the very least, just. Oh, God, he feels bad, but he's also an idiot. Okay. He would then.
Well, that's up to you. If you want to like try and like overplay the idiot part, you also know you're here stealthily, and there's a summoner here. So
I wish to quote words: "Idiots still have survivability."
yeah,
Haha.
He's going to.
and your intelligence is 16, so if that helps.
Okay. He's going to take out some rations and then just storm somewhere, like generally place them nearby inside the cage, and then mentally sonic mind to the thing. It doesn't need to be able to. It needs to be able to understand one language.
Yeah, it
So
could
he's gonna just be like, shh, here, it's okay, and that's it. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You do that. All of you see as Taeyong does this, and you see as the chocobo says, kind of very, very gently, just like limps over and gently just sort of like pecks at the rations very weakly. And as you guys all sort of descend and you sort of witness this, you see, you hear the voices in the distance, and you would hear some voices just sort of conversing with one another, saying, all right. Do you think they will be coming out tonight? Another one says, probably. Wonder when they'll take this one out of our hands. She's been staying here for way too long, and it's hard communicating with someone you can't even speak with. And you'd see as the other one kind of just looks over, and we'll say, God. These things are definitely from that Fae place. Look fucking weird as shit. And kind of just like gestures and says, how more do you think they'll be out for, huh? And you'll just say, for as long as we need. Let's just hope that things go well. And that if things work out here, maybe we'll get a promotion, eh? I think she'd really like that. But you know. And we'll say, well, you got a thing for the old butterfly? And we'll just say, I mean, she's pretty, I guess. Don't tell her I said that, though. I respect her. He's like, yeah. They're kind of just talking amongst one another. But you do hear at least two voices. And you guys are close enough where you could see they are cloaked and with those same porcelain masks. Yes, Sminty.
Question. Person from my backstory. Am I aware if they ever spoke or not?
I'm going to message you.
Okay.
Where is the...
Kind of Ned from the Try Guys asks.
As you see in the distance, there appears to be two bodies sort of slumped in the corner, unconscious right now underneath this shed. What do you guys do?
Question: how loud is my recording sphere? Like activating and starting the thing up?
I don't think activating it will make a noise. But
okay,
what are you trying to do exactly? You can theory craft.
There's a conversation happening. Basically,
you
he's
want to
trying to like record the conversation, see
Yes.
if anything crazy.
No, you can do that. No sleight of hand check needed. No nothing. You can definitely do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make like a window starting noise when you activate it or anything. A little
Yeah,
Mac
okay.
noise.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the noise that you can't turn down no matter what.
Yeah.
So where are they? So there's at least
In the
two
shed.
bodies in here speaking.
Two bodies.
There's-
There's 2 bodies speaking and 2 more bodies unconscious and slumped in the corner.
Max kind of puts up a finger before anyone acts, and then you see he will do some magical tinkering real quick, and you see he holds up like a little device, and kind of like in a very very low whisper goes,
Wait, magical tinkering?
Angry and anti-magic.
"Oh, never mind. Never mind."
Hold
Yep.
on then. Counterpoint then. Okay. Tio will go ahead and kind of press down on a button on their wrist, and they'll take out that tether shot thing they have as an evolutionist.
Yes.
That people have seen them when somebody was running away, they shot it into the back of them and dragged them closer, and then would look at the others like, "What you got?" Basically.
Oh yeah, pulling out your weapons.
Take out my bow. Would I be able to get, since we were stealth, would we be able to get a surprise attack on these
Yeah, you
people?
could. You definitely could. You're fully stealth as a party.
Carter pulls
Do we
out
wanna
a
go-
gun.
Do we want to go for it? I don't want to do it if we don't want to go for it, guys.
Question.
True. Yes.
Sorry,
I
you're not
don't
supposed to
think
say
my
that.
Magitech shotgun will work here.
Magitech does of certain kinds does work in anti-magic fields.
In
You're-
this case, at least the bullets. Or the charge.
the charge, the rest of the charges don't work, but if they're already loaded into your gun, so whatever is currently charged, you won't be able to reload. But you can shoot. the charge.
Okay. I see how that works.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I got my lightning launcher. I'm ready to fucking go. I'm ready to be
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla in this bitch.
So you see Captain just pulls out a fucking shotgun.
You see, fucking Max pulls out basically what's a fucking railgun, by the way.
They are looking between all of this, and they fucking whisper and go, "There could be others here." Just fucking like quietly.
Taeyong would be up in the air doing like but like still acting as if the ground was the floors. He does like the preparation to do a sprint, like Usain Bolt.
I love Nujik. I love Nujik's look of panic right now.
Carter looks at Tia, looks at the 2 people with massive guns, kind of looks back and shrugs, and then like taps where their magnum has a silencer attached, which should not work.
It might not work. Yeah.
It should not.
Yeah, that is.
That's all I got. What do you want from me? I have
Tia
magic missile.
Tia will look up to where, oh my god, what the fuck? To where Taeyong is, and just fucking go, "Let's just try to be quiet for 2 fucking seconds." It's just like look up at Taeyong like, "Ready?"
Of course. I mean, like the weapons he
Basically
has.
anyone
like, they're
who
pretty
doesn't
much-
have a fucking gun out. So Minty, I think, with the bow, or was it Brilliance with the bow?
It was
All right.
Minty, I think. Taeyong only has his face side.
Okay,
yeah.
so I believe Feth, Minty, and Taeyong, are you using your darts or?
Well, we know there's only
Darts?
2 of these guys. First
There's
off,
only
we
2 of these guys.
yeah, so we know that these are the only 2 bad guys.
Yeah.
And if
I think if
fucking
there's like a command word that they could say, if this is all technology down here because there's no magic, if they have something set up to activate defenses, we don't want to fucking give them a chance to activate that. But at the same time, who knows if there's self-defense things down here as well that could react to gunshots and a lot of other like explosive
who knows?
things.
My plan, or sorry, his plan is basically like, I'm gonna be right here. I can cheat the movement. I'm just kidding.
Right,
he wanted
so-
to run in and just like grapple them.
All right. What do you got? So I'm going to give you guys 2 options, or 3. 1, everybody just goes guns blazing. 2, only the ones without the automated ranged weapons go. 3, just let Taeyong go in and grapple both of them.
I mean, 2 and 3 are still possible at the same time.
They are. But Taeyong can also go in and just grapple both of them because that is his ability.
Mostly,
Pray-
I'm just
I
making
mean-
sure that they don't, because if they survive the round of silent stuff, they can just ick the summoners, no matter if we're loud or not.
Well, I mean, if Taeyong needs help grappling, I can pop a thing to move 60 feet to also be in range.
Actually, if I have a spell prepared.
There's no spells. It's
Oh
Yeah, we have no
shit,
magic.
that's right.
Anti-magic.
Mhm.
Yep.
I say 2 and 3 at the same time.
Silencers. Okay. All right. With that,
Question: since
Crossbow?
You do have do you have a crossbow?
I have a light crossbow.
You can use it.
I have
That
a
works.
dagger. I don't think I'm gonna.
What
That's
Go ahead,
it.
Minty.
would I be able to do Hunter's Mark?
No, it's a spell.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's I keep forgetting.
I know it's okay. Anti-magic's tricky, and you're not usually supposed to encounter it this early in the game. But I'm me, and I'm chaotic. So
Some idiot ran
Does
down a
that-
well or something.
Does that also affect my dreadful strike?
it does not. So you can use dreadful strikes if you would like.
Tia will fucking
Okay.
hand Max their whip. They have
Okay.
a whip. They just hand him a whip.
Okay, with that, I will go ahead and do the surprise round of attacks. So go ahead and roll your attacks at advantage.
Are
Okay.
these two individuals directly next to each other?
Yes, they are.
Perfect. I can attack twice.
So, question: when I run into grapple them, we're doing the new 1D&D rules grappling as if being an attack, right?
Yes.
So,
you can
what do
roll
I do with? Because I took the grappler feat specifically so I could choose if they have to make strength or dexterity saving, athletics or acrobatics to escape.
How I'll
What
do
do
it is that you'll have advantage on the attack roll.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and try that.
Just a quick
I-
thing for weaponry. I've been. I believe Nujik is giving me a light crossbow.
Yep.
All right.
He's-
I'll
Go
throw a
ahead and-
spear.
Hand a crossbow over, give Max
All right.
a whip. Fucking.
All right,
He's gonna-
go ahead and make your attacks, you guys.
This
I'm
is
gonna
like
use
whip.
sharpshooter.
Attack.
Yeah, sharpshooter.
I do have sharpshooter.
Should I
Yeah,
import
what
a
it's
light
for.
crossbow?
And
That's okay.
because
You can just roll a range attack. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The light crossbow.
I'm
is just-
grappling, I don't do damage, right?
What would be? a
No, you
range
just reduce
attack
their
for
speed to
me?
0.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Like,
Plus.
I haven't fully read the new 1D&D thing, so I'll just roll to attack again. With
Dang,
my
actually,
bonus action.
Brilliant's kind of slayed with the spear. Period.
And Rev also
Yeah.
has multi-attack things.
Natural
Ah,
20.
fuck.
It's
But I
okay.
can't do anything with it, man.
I got
Gosh.
15s on both. Whatever.
Okay, so the two are grappled. So everyone, in case they try to do anything. or, like, run.
Immediately, you dive through, and as your attacks all sort of spring on them, that is a total. Let's see, damage on there. How about you, Feth? What is your damage? I don't think I
Oh,
see it.
let me roll
Oh,
both
I
my
forgot to
damage.
roll my damage.
Yeah, roll damages too, y'all.
What
They definitely all
the-
hit.
Is
Okay.
it 1d6 or 1d8 for light crossbow?
I believe light crossbow is 1d8.
One takes 11,
Plus
one takes 9.
1d4
1d8
plus
your dex mod.
10.
There you go.
So real.
I'm assuming. I'm assuming that mine hit with 20.
I'm going to, and I'm going to say with the damage already at hand, are y'all doing this lethally or non-lethally?
Minty is doing this lethally, given the circumstances.
Yeah, I'll do lethally. I'm sexy with a whip.
All right.
Can I try to contest that since I have them grappled?
No, they damaged them before you could get them. So as you afford, you kind of immediately knock the bodies away, but swiftly, without a sound, they drop, both of them. And immediately before you, Taeyong, you would see is this woman who appears to be very young, pale of skin, with viridian hair and matching Verdant's clothes, as she's completely unconscious and appears to be like breathing steadily, but definitely still alive. I am going to go ahead and show her a picture, and you sense this like calling towards her, and as she is currently unconscious, and lying next to her, Megan, if you would like to describe your character.
Hello. Exter, I don't know if you have the picture because I'm
do.
so excellent at describing things. 8 foot tall Furbolg, but with some like more tiefling-ish features. Multicolored skin, got the Furbolg ears, but like the horns are just so distinctly demonic and tiefling-ish, and like the whites of their eyes are actually, even though they're passed out, I don't know if their eyes are open, but like pitch black with gold irises and like little fangs. Imposing, but on the ground, so take that as you would. Just kind of beside this person.
And Perry, as you see these individuals get totally knocked down, you feel your strength returning to you as you're still barely hanging on conscious as you see these assailants having just taken down your captors.
I'd like to like sit up if I can. I'm
Yes, you can.
not doing well. Cool. And just look at everybody.
And you all would see this, this individual here immediately sort of sit up almost defensively in front of the woman.
Mhm. Definitely like I'm gonna protect this person even on my last like my last energies.
I
It's okay.
relax.
You're safe now.
Oh, out
Are there
of
more cards?
combat.
Yes, you're out of combat now.
Minthy's gonna rush over and just like hop the fence and be like, Rain?
This satyr kind of hops over Perry, you notice that Minty calls after this woman. This individual calls after Rianne, knowing their name.
You know her.
Yes, we're both from the Feymarch.
Hey, same. You just took out our captors. I have no reason to distrust you, but know that I will defend her if I am given a reason.
Understandable, but we grew up together.
Now, you know, I would be I want to be inclined to believe you for sure. We just like look at the situation we're in right now, right? I'm gonna be a little bit skeptical unless she tells me otherwise. Just on the level.
You'd see as this go ahead, Minty.
Is she okay?
Could I check her real quick to see if she's okay?
You would know that she's just exhausted and dehydrated.
We're just tired. We need something to drink, something to eat, probably too. We've been down here for a while.
It's been a few days.
Too long. Been a few days. Too long.
Actually, technically, since the melee should be up close to.
Yeah, you're there already, Tao.
Right. Here, I gave some food to the chocobo, but take some rations. Here's my water skin. Don't believe it'll just go crazy. Yeah.
I'm gonna if I can give the water directly to give it to
Rihanna.
her. Yeah, and take care of her before myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As you do, you would see as Rianne very weakly sort of accepts the water, but very, very gently swallows eventually before coming to awakenness, kind of very confused, before she speaks in Sylvan. So if you guys understand Sylvan, you can understand this, but she'll say, Perry? Where
I'm right
are
here.
we?
Underground. I don't think we went far. Yeah, we haven't moved since last I checked. Still underneath the village. Can still see that well over there.
Bad people still here?
No, they're dead. But there are new people, including this person here, who says that they know you.
Upon sort of looking over, you'd see as Rianne looks directly towards you, Minty. What'd you say? Minty! And you guys can understand Minty. It's still Minty and Sylvan. What? And you see as Rianne immediately weakly kind of uses you as a way to kind of help herself up, and she'll kind of stumble over towards you, Minty, and kind of almost falling into your arms.
Perry definitely relaxes a little bit at that.
What are you doing here?
It's a long story. Sort of fell through planes, I guess. Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where Nora is, but I ran into Perry. They're a friend. They're also from the Fame Arch.
How long have you been here? Not this place, but this plane.
It's a long story. And are we safe, or who are these people?
Max will speak in kind of Sylvan and kind of very much like get on one knee and say, "Hello, Lady Summoner. I am Max Schultz. We are emissaries from the Queendom of Alexandria when you had went missing. We are here to rescue you. We have dealt with the snakes and wish to seek you safely out."
Thank you. I don't know if I deserve that.
You are a summoner and an individual worthy of life and living. Of course you deserve help.
We've been here for, I think, a week, but it's a bit of a long story. I think we should get to safety, if we can.
Would you like to rest within the village, or would you just like to immediately leave?
The people here, they're nice. Can we help them? Looks over at like Minty and as well as like everybody else.
We figured out what's going on, and we think we might be able to stop it. We have rooms at the inn.
There's a machine nearby. I think Perry saw them taking things there.
Rev will begin in Sylvan as well and go, do you... either of you look like you need to be carried?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
And
Rev
as
walk in
Rev-
and put one under each of his arms.
As the summoner, as the summoner helps the
Come here,
summoner,
Furbolg.
as you kind of approach Rev, we will go ahead and end tonight's session there.
Yep, remember? So we have all three of them being carried. All right.
I call the chocobo.
I already called the chocobo. I put it in chat.
I got one under each arm. Captain Whiteface got the chocobo.
Y'all ever seen somebody
you had
carry
your
an
chance of Che. No, it's
Y'all-
how I
y'all
want to